and welcome back to the Section 10 podcast, episode 528, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your soon-to-be 2025 World Series champion Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carabas, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Tyler Milliken, and he killed his dog Bullet, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you doing?
Ooh, what up, Alex Bregman in the building.
In the mother fucking building. Presented by Blue Moon.
Suck one.
Produced by Jake Yazzie.
Fuck yeah.
Very excited. Very excited today. It's a big day in our show's history. It's quite the story arc, indeed. It is Alex Bregman on episode 528 of the Section 10 podcast. Been in business for 10 years now. 10 years. And we've had some big guests. We've had some monumental moments as a show. And I believe this will end up being up there in terms of, you know, the 2018 World Series, the playoff run, where we were as fans, and the relationship that existed between Bregman, which is basically just trolling him online. He was aware of us. We were aware of him. And then the relationship continued to grow into the point where we got to today, where I know he's done some interviews, but like this is like his real like full length sit down interview since signing with the Boston Red Sox. Technically, his voice did appear on Section 10 just mere seconds after signing his contract with the Boston Red Sox, or at least his giggle appeared on Section 10.
Yeah, hopping on the show back-to-back weeks. This guy cares.
He loves it. Yeah, big fan of the 10. We're going to have to get him some merch. And the good news, speaking of merch, is we're doing like a full kind of like relaunch where let's just say merch is going to be a much higher priority in 2025 than it had probably ever been in the past. Like this isn't even just like last year. I'm talking all time. Merch will like we're going to be able to put out stuff. Like we're going to have like Section 10 dildos. Like there's going to be and this goes for BID too. Or if anyone's listening from BID land, we're going to be able to have, you know, hoodies, hats, jerseys, flags, pins, patches, slippers,
socks.
Yep. Socks. We actually are. Like that was something that came up in the meeting. Like they just, you know, we're going to be able to do all that stuff. So I'm very excited about the future of the merch. Very excited about the future of the Boston Red Sox now that Alex Bregman is a part of it. And I'm also very, 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 very excited about the Underdog Fantasy app this baseball season, which is right around the corner. And Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, like strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. You can make entries of all baseball, or you can mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. T, what are you going to be doing on the Underdog Fantasy app come opening day? Like, is there going to be like, are you going to do like all homers? Are you going to do some total bases? Like, what are we thinking?
I'm going to be predicting a homer for every single person in the Red Sox lineup. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Wow. Okay. I like that. Just sprinkle it all across and just hope for the best.
9 homers.
I like that approach.
It's happening.
Yeah. I have a question. It's not an appropriate time to ask. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. How you doing, T?
I'm good. I feel alive. You know, we're a couple days away from Auntie Kathy's memorial services, which
I thought that was this past week. No, what?
Dude, didn't you say you were doing that last weekend with
the
Moons?
It's Wednesday. We're a couple days past it.
What is that face that you just made?
I don't understand the confusion.
You said last Wednesday that Auntie Kathy's services were this past weekend.
No, I said they were coming up this weekend.
Right, which was this past weekend.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was and I was telling you how it went.
Oh, how did it go?
It was sad. Not as many moons consumed as I thought. A lot of people were too busy crying and kind of working through some, serious personal issues. But I was sipping. I was doing my part.
Yeah,
That was cool.
that was
The
I was
only one
crushing
good.
Bad
moons,
vibes
yeah.
don't fuck up a Tyler Milligan.
Yeah, I was big
Yeah.
chilling. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
dead.
shout out Auntie Kathy.
She's-
Shout out Auntie
She's not
Kathy.
on the ground. The ground's too rock hard, they said.
Way too
Yeah,
cold.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
loose right now.
I
Yeah.
burn her.
What?
Cremating's an option.
I guess that's
It's
probably
cheaper,
what I
too.
want to do. I don't know. I don't like the idea of anyone being able to access my. We're gonna go to Coley first.
Stunning.
We've got to be running out of ground, right? We've been burying people
Oh,
forever.
One of the biggest
Absolutely.
mysteries of my lifetime. Like, I've asked this question every time I drive past a graveyard. I'm like, people die every day in
Oof.
large volumes every day. Like, where? Like, you ever see like a grand opening of a graveyard? No.
You know.
You ever be like, oh, there's like they just they knocked down that apartment building. They're opening up a brand new graveyard. Like, when is the last time you saw a new graveyard? Ever?
It's a
They
good
gotta
point.
be.
I don't think they launched. That would be fun. A graveyard launch party. I feel like
Yeah.
that would actually kind of be awesome.
Have
but
you ever in your life seen them knock down trees or an old building to create a brand new graveyard?
They extend them. That's kind of what they do. You get a new section of the one that's already been there.
Brother, my parents' house is down the street from a graveyard. My current house is down the street from a graveyard. I've never seen either of them expand. They just
I've seen
are.
them expand, but I feel like after 100 years, like who really knows? I think they're ripping people out.
They gotta be like, hey, your time's up. Get out.
Well, you can just go down the line, right, and just see, which people don't have family members left. No one's going to know that they tossed these people out, right? If you have no connection to anybody anymore, you can just let that one go and open that space up.
I
Yeah.
guess. But I mean, I've seen some really old graveyards
Sure.
that, like in Saugus, there's a ancient graveyard right next to a convenience store in Saugus Center. Like I'm sure it was a happening area back in the 1700s or whatever, but I mean, it's a very odd place for a graveyard in 2025, but they are old headstones. So like they're not pulling them out of the ground.
They didn't have 7-Elevens back then. It was a perfectly fine spot to put a graveyard back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, like the convenience store was probably a farmhouse back then. I don't know.
Also,
They were just burying you where you died back then. They were like, hey,
Also, I apologize to like any member of the Bregman family that like Alex was like, hey, like I'm going on section 10. Check out the interview right here. And then he sends them the link. And then they're like, I don't know that this is this can't be the podcast. This is not a baseball podcast.
We should just toss to it now and then just pick this up
yeah.
after.
All right, that's what we'll do. Yeah, you're obviously here. While you guys are listening to the Alex Bregman interview, we're gonna discuss the graveyard situation and figure it all out.
we're going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, we'll be back in 40 minutes. You guys enjoy the Alex Bregman interview. Okay, boom. It's Alex Bregman of the Boston Red Sox.
What's his name?
Alex Bregman
here
of
he
the
is.
Boston Red Sox. Let's call him Boston Red Sox infielder, Alex Bregman. Welcome to
Maybe.
section 10. Yeah, listen, he might play the outfield, he might catch. I don't know what's going on. Very excited to have you on the Red Sox. This is I feel like it was destiny though. It feels like there was some destiny to this.
You never know. Well, first off, I'm excited to be on the team. But yeah, there was some destiny. I guess I was drafted by them out of high school, so it all comes full circle now.
Yeah, but like I wasn't talking about that. Like I know, like you were drafted by the Red Sox, but like the destiny part was our connection and trolling you in 2018. That's how it worked with David Price. If you think about it, I trolled David Price in 2014, and then he signed with the team after 2015. Trolled Alex Bregman in 2018, and then became pals in 2019. Now here he is in the Boston Red Sox.
Start talking shit about Skeens.
Yeah, please do. The whole internet sees the clip, by the way, of you blowing the fastball by me in the 0-0 count, but they don't see the next swing. Why haven't you posted that one?
We couldn't get the licensing. We don't own the content, so it was kind of like really wish we could have that, but the licensing fees, and we all know how Dave likes to hold on to property, instead of giving it to us. So I tried to get it. I really did, but he said no. It was a hard no from him. So
You only got the swing and miss. You didn't get the homer.
Yeah, I mean that one was less expensive. Yeah, I paid for
Called
that.
negotiating. You just did it all winter. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, it didn't take all winter. I was early. I was 2 days early. Yeah.
You were 2 days. How? All right. So walk people through the process, like the roller coaster of emotions. Because I didn't even get to ask you this. Like, at what point? Like, was there a point where you felt like I'm a Cub, or like I'm a Tiger, or like I'm going back to Houston? Was there any moment? There's probably multiple moments, but like you tell us, like what was that like?
Yeah, I'd say probably about 30 minutes before I ended up becoming a Red Sox, I felt like I was going somewhere else. And I felt like it was kind of like that the entire offseason. Is first time obviously going through free agency, but you don't really know what to expect when you've never been through it. But after going through it, you really don't know until the last second, until everyth's complete. It was an interesting experience. Obviously, like you said, it could be a roller coaster ride at times if you let it. But feel like when you just gotta focus on what you can control in your training and listen to your agent.
Yeah, like so. How frustrating was it when there was a lot of reporting on your free agency? Because I mean, you fucking took the longest, but like there was a lot of reporting on your free agency in particular. Was it frustrating for you when stuff got reported that wasn't true? Like people were putting stuff out there about like demands and whatever else, contract length, and you just have to kind of sit there and let people say what they want to say.
Of course, I think that's part of the free agent process, though. And I mean, I'd say probably 90% of what was reported was not true, and about 10% was true. And I feel like it's like that for every free agency. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm super pumped to be here, and I think we have a super good team this year, and I think we got a chance to win.
Is it weird saying we talking about the Red Sox?
It is at first when you've been somewhere for so long. You say like last year we or this year, or like what did you guys do? Like it's hard to do at first. But you kind of get around to saying we now. I think it's like day 5 or 6 now, so I'm getting more used to it.
It looks like you fit though. Like when like the little photo day, like you put on the Red Sox jersey for the first time. Like there's definitely players that change teams where I don't want to say they're lifelong players but like they had an extended stay somewhere and then they go with a new team. You're like, oh, like that doesn't look like it fits. Like you look like you fit in a Red Sox uniform.
Well, I'll tell you, my mom said I look good in the uniform, and she's been a Yankee fan her whole life. So
what?
She said, "Hey, you look good in the uniform." She sent me a text, and I was like, "Wow, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it."
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, is she gonna convert?
Yeah, I mean, she was when she was growing up, and then she obviously rooted for the Astros, and now she's a big Red Sox fan. So
when Chapman gave that homer up, she was like, "Damn it, this is the absolute."
She was wearing a Jeter jersey under my jersey on Jeter Day. His number was retired though, so she still has a lot of love for her New York roots.
Is that weird? Like growing up, like your favorite player is Pedroia and Jeter. Like that's like Bobby Witt. Like Bobby Witt is the same dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I think honestly, I loved all the players in the rivalry. Honestly, growing up, like
that's what Arenado said. Said the same thing.
I feel like that's what we watched growing up. Like that's how I fell in love with the game, was watching the World Series and the ALCS, and I felt like every year was the Yankees and Red Sox in the ALCS. And I mean, all we had growing up, we had WGN, which was the Cubs. And then we had Red Sox and Yankees in the playoffs every year. And I mean, you dream about playing in those moments. So, yeah.
I hope you have a rivalry moment right away. Like, I hope that, like, I get it's going to have to be I don't know, like, 'cause it's not going to be Cole because he doesn't have that dog in him at all. Like, he's trying to put guys on base to avoid conflict, but like
Game
I don't
3
know.
in spring training, just a
Yeah.
rivalry moment.
Just start a
Yeah.
fight. Just like run out and punch the guy.
Just spike someone. Like, let's go. Like, let's get the energy going.
Is that the easiest part of this transition, coming from Houston already hating the Yankees and then coming to Boston? It's like, well, yeah, this is like a hand in a glove.
Y'all are wild.
Don't forget who you play for now.
Yeah, that's right. I'll just before you answer this
y'all are
question,
crazy.
before you answer this question, I give this example all the time. We had Martin Perez on this podcast, and it was his first season with the Red Sox. We didn't even prompt him or ask him about it. Like, we were basically like, "So, Martin, what's your favorite movie?" And he was like, "Honestly, fuck the Yankees, man. Fuck them. fuck the Yankees." Like, he just wanted it to be known. I know, like, you're more of a high profile guy. Like, you've been there, you've done, and like you don't have a reason to say that because every time that you've had a showdown with the Yankees in the postseason, you've beaten them. Like, there's no rivalry there. Like, you've won every time.
Well, they're the defending AL champs, so they got us last year. They got us last year.
Yeah, that
so
doesn't count.
I'll tell you this. I'm fired up for this year, and I'm fired up about our team. I think we got. I think
the Red Sox.
The Red Sox. I think we. I think
You're on the Red Sox.
Wild.
You're on the Red Sox.
I think we have a damn good team, and I think that obviously there's a lot of work to be done. So I don't want to talk about anything. I just want to go out there and do it.
Yeah, and fuck the Yankees. I think. All right, so
We'll put that on the quote card. That's basically what he just said. That's essentially, we'll sum that up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to know how things change because, without getting into details or anything, you had interest from, call it 5-6 teams. The Red Sox, sure, they were interested, but they weren't always a major player. And then, the news breaks, Alex Bregman to the Red Sox. I'm shocked. I'm stunned by this. Even when I saw your face, I was waiting for you to be like, I signed with the Cubs or I signed with the Tigers or whatever. Was totally blown away that you said that you were signing with the Red Sox. Did not see that coming. So at what point did things change and like what got it over the finish line for you?
I think it was probably like, I think I called you at like 8:40, and I think like 8:00. I think Brez and Scott got on the phone and they were talking for maybe 20 minutes, and kind of started to seem like it was going in the right direction of where we wanted to go. And all of a sudden it was like, hey, you got to make a decision. It's like, let's go. It's either go or no. Mm-hmm. And I said, let's freaking go.
Classic go or no situation. Yeah. And you're like, I'm going go with it.
Yeah, let's go with this. Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's go.
That makes it seem like it makes it sound like it was a take it or leave it offer. Otherwise they were going to pivot. That's how it sounds.
It probably was.
Yeah. Could have been. Don't know.
Don't know. Didn't want to chance it.
All right.
Well, what are you doing during those 20 minutes? Like, do you know he's on the phone? Are you pacing, or are you just used to it by this point?
No, I was just calling him, and I think he was calling Brez, and then we were kind of just discussing it. Really, it's kind of a blur at this point.
Sure.
Looking back at it, I think we got like 3 offers in the matter of like 30 minutes. And then we decided we were like, all right, where do we want to go?
Life.
The entire offseason goes by the way.
The whole offseason goes by and it's crickets. And then within 30 minutes, it was crazy.
They're like, the only chance you play this season is if you pick right now in this 30-minute span. Like, that had to feel. What was your reaction when you saw the 120? When you saw the number, that had to be like a little bit crazy.
No, it was good
for the years, obviously. Yeah,
100%, and it gave me an opportunity as well to go improve. That I can play somewhere for a long time this year. And I thought that getting the opportunity to do that is going to be awesome, especially here in Boston where we have a chance to win.
So I respect and appreciate that you always say the right thing. Let's break it down layer by layer, because in choosing Boston, it's like, hey, we're going to give you the same salary as fucking Aaron Judge. Does that sound good to you? Yup. So we'll take that off the table. Like, that's obviously a major factor. The chance to win, you obviously want that. You've never not played in the postseason. That's another factor. But when we keep stripping away layers here, how much of a factor in choosing Boston, A, the relationship with Alex Cora, and B, you knew your numbers were like God mode at Fenway. And then if you look at your number, it's all small sample sizes anyway. I think you would have been fine regardless. But God mode at Fenway, not so great in Detroit and Chicago. So, I mean, like, how much of that fell into your decision where you were like, hey, I can go to Fenway and do some real damage here and make $40 million, but like, I can do a ton of damage there. I know that ballpark well.
Oh shit. I think it was a big factor. Obviously, I feel comfortable playing in Boston. I like playing there.
I don't like that. The fuck? Why are you comfortable here?
It's energy every night there. It's a great place to play baseball.
That's good. That's good.
It's a lot of Astros fans when Houston comes to town.
That's
I think
true.
it was
Didn't love that.
That's true too, but not in 21 and 18 though. Not in 21 and 18.
Fair.
Yeah.
The ballpark and the city just screams like baseball town. And I feel like I just love baseball. I love playing baseball. And I feel like it brings the best out of people when they go there that just love the game. And obviously, to go back to your question, I can hit in other places too, Jared.
Yeah, but
even in the parking lot, even in the parking lot in Florida at spring training.
Here we go. I'm already so excited for on the suspensions account all year. It's going to say Alex Bregman won.
Listen, the episode's not over yet, Steve.
Yeah, true.
He could catch another one. You don't know.
Could be multiple.
I never thought me and Alex Bregman would have something in common. This is a big moment for me.
Well,
He's not at 300 yet, but yeah,
you'll probably get
please.
So we know what the numbers are. You mentioned the Rafael Devers inside the park home run is like the craziest Fenway experience for you. Were you not there when Schwarber hit that grand slam? Because there's no way that the Schwarber grand slam was not rowdier than the inside the park home run.
Maybe it was just like the feeling in the moment, because when Devers hit the inside the Parker, we had just brought Verlander in game 4, so we couldn't have thrown him in game 5. Devers hits the homer, Verlander's out of the game now, and we have to win that game. We have to win game 4 because we just burned our game 5 starter. So when Devers hit the homer, and can you play the song real quick? And when this song comes on and it's going crazy, it's kind of like, I feel like the stadium is going like this, like rocking up and down. Everybody's going nuts, and everybody was a little bit on edge after that.
I mean, so people that didn't know before we came on, you wanted to know the name of that song because you want to like bump it on the way to JetBlue, which I love. Like it's a great fire up song. They've been using it for quite some time now. I want to say like 15 or 16. Like it's almost been like a decade of that song. I want to say so. Yeah. Wow. But yeah, I think like those moments, it's crazy how like some of the loudest Fenway Park moments have been against the Houston Astros over the last, I don't know, decade. But we kind of have to talk about the elephant in the room here being the controversy, the drama at camp. Like, is it overblown? Has the media taken it and run with it? And is it like behind the scenes? Are you guys just laughing it off like this isn't a big deal?
I told Nick when I got on here, we're not even talking about it. We're focused on our work every day, and nobody's saying anything about it at camp at all. So obviously, I think everybody on the team just wants to win. That's it. Yeah. Plain and simple. We want to win. We want to get back to the playoffs. And I think we have a hell of a chance.
I think so too. I think
the way he's answering these too well. I saw your media availability outside the clubhouse. I was like, this guy's too trained. You are too media trained at this point. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Boys. I mean, when your season finishes every single year and you're on a podium in front of a national audience every single year, you're in the ALCS every single year. Like, you've gotten your reps in.
I'm sure LSU too. LSU's no small school. You know what I mean? I'm sure they get it
baseball
there too.
School.
Yeah, it's LSU is crazy. Especially coming from New Mexico, that you don't have like New Mexico high school baseball. You may have like one reporter come to your game like once every 2 or 3 weeks, and then you get to LSU and there's just, it's crazy that how much more media there is there than what I was used to. But like you said, Jared, like when you play in the playoffs, I feel like and trust me, I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I've said some
dumb stuff. Yeah, you said some dumb stuff.
I've said some dumb stuff.
You said something in 2019 that like Nesson picked out. Like, what was that? There's something. Do you remember that?
No.
What did you say?
I've said too much stupid stuff that I don't know. I don't know.
You be saying shit sometimes. It's okay. I mean, like, hey, it happens. It's, you put a live microphone in front of you for a decade, inevitably you're going to say something stupid. Me personally, I don't do that, but I understand when other people do. Steve?
Just real quick on the topic. When you signed the contract, was there an expectation that contract was to be the third baseman of the Red Sox, or was the discussion then like, hey, we just want you on your team because you're obviously sick at Fenway and you'd be a great veteran for the team?
Yeah,
no, not at all. Not at all. When we talked only about winning. That's it. Our whole meeting in California at the beginning of the offseason was, how are we going to win? That's it. That's what I wanted to know when I met with Brez, ownership, AC, was what's our plan to win now? What's our plan to win in the future? And I could hear it in all their voices that they wanted to do whatever it took to win. So for me, it didn't matter where I played. They said, be ready to play second, third, wherever, just be ready. And I said, all right, let's go.
I'm gonna ask you a question. So like, this isn't live. We can edit this out if you don't want me to ask this question, but I'm gonna ask it because I think you want to give the answer. During the offseason, you had the thought of, there could be a scenario where I sign with a team and I know I wasn't their number one target, but I'm going to walk into that clubhouse and be like, listen, I know I wasn't your top target, but you're going to get a fucking really motivated player and this is going to be the best decision, whatever, that the team has made. Does it feel good knowing that you inevitably signed with a team that you were their number one target?
I don't know if I was. I don't know if I was or not, to be honest.
I mean, like, all right. So the Red Sox were in for Juan Soto. Like, that doesn't count.
Kind of.
Like everyone would love to have Juan Soto, but like realistically, were the Red Sox going to sign him? No. And even Scott said publicly, after they missed on Juan Soto, it was direct to Bregman. So like, if you don't count Juan Soto, which like I don't think that was super realistic, then yeah, you were the Red Sox top target.
Well, no, I mean, it feels great to be here right now. Obviously, the Red Sox have acquired a lot of players this offseason in free agency.
It is We're
Crochet, Bueller, a lot of guys that are going to make a huge impact on the team this year. And I'm happy to be on their team. I'm happy to be on the guys' team that have already been here for a long time. And I said it when we had the press conferences. There's great players in that clubhouse. There's veteran players. There's young players. And I think everyone in that clubhouse are on the same page as far as let's find a way to win. And I mean, I think I'm excited to be here, man. I'm really excited.
All right. So I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. Like, you played your entire career with the Houston Astros. You made the playoffs every single year. And you were part of like a tight knit core. Like, Altuve was the guy, but you were the guy. But Springer was the guy. Correa was the guy. And now you come to a brand new team where, at least from the outside, I don't know what goes on inside. At least from the outside, the idea is Bregman is brought here to be the leader and be a voice and be, there's a big win, there's a tough loss. They're coming to your locker first. Is it weird to be put in that spot when you're brand new to this team?
I'd say no. I feel like I was around when we had, like when I first came up to the big leagues, we had a bunch of veteran players come to our team, and we went straight.
McCann, Beltran,
yeah, we went straight to those guys and said, "Hey, how do we navigate a big league season? How do we win games? How do we get out of slumps? How do we just go over 162 and get better at the game of baseball? How do we win games? How do we do this?" And those guys were so instrumental in helping all of us out in our career. And when they left, I got to see Correa firsthand take on a leadership role. Springer, Altuve has always been a leader of that team, and got to learn from those guys. So I feel like from having the pleasure of playing with those guys and learning from them, I feel like I'm in a position now to be able to help out younger guys or help out older guys or whoever navigate a season.
Being in that spot now, I know it's only been, I don't know, like a week and change. What are your early impressions of a guy like Christian Campbell?
Really good. Really good. Marcelo, really good. Roman Anthony, really good. Super mature beyond their years. Obviously, ridiculous talent, like all-star talent. And then you have like franchise players like Raffy and Jaron that are there that are just superstars in the game, perennial all-stars.
You and Jaron are going to hit it off. I think you guys are going to be tight.
Oh, he's the man.
Yeah,
he's the man. And then Trevor, who's an all-star, who's looking forward to having a healthy season, showing what he's all about. And then you look across the room and you see the pitching staff, and you're like, wow, this is going to be serious.
Didn't you get in there against Crochet this morning?
2 days ago. Yeah.
What's that looking like?
Like normal Crochet, like 100 with a nasty cutter and slider and sinker and the whole deal. And
they were calling him I think people down there in spring, they were like, oh, that's like the left-handed Carabas, they were saying. Weren't they saying that?
Yeah, just blowing dudes away.
Yeah,
blowing dudes away.
Yeah, just with ease. Like you don't just see it, you hear it.
I actually was asking some people who we were facing for live ABs, and they were just sending rocket emojis in the chat.
Yeah, that's what it is, and I'm glad he's on our side now as well. I'm gonna get to T in a second because he's probably got some questions about fucking exit velocity and launch angle and shit.
It's one dirty question.
Yeah,
thank God. Thank God.
He's got something about it. There was a report, Alex Bregman, that you and Reagan put together a 16-page document of questions for the Boston Red Sox. 2-part question. First, why didn't you ask me any of these questions? I probably had half the answers. 2, like what was like, if you could narrow it down to the top 5 most important questions in this 16-page document, what were some of the most important questions that you had for the team?
All right. Well, first off, I did ask you half the questions, and you said, doesn't matter. Just get your ass to Boston.
Like, we got to go to the Kowloon, dude. Like, just sign the contract.
I think Reagan's questions were about, like, family life, kids, schools, hospital, because obviously we're expecting our second child here shortly here in a month.
Any second. Hey,
never know. She's actually in Boston right now looking for housing it right now.
I already told her the house next to me is going to be for sale very soon. So, I mean, you let me know. We can finagle.
It's a main road. You don't want young kids on it.
Yeah, that's true.
She called me and she said it's 10 degrees right now, but I love it.
I love it.
She's pumped. She got into Harvard. We found that out 2 days before we were signing. She's going to go to like their executive business school, but she asked a bunch of questions about housing and security for the families and like the family situation. And I asked a bunch of questions about what they're thinking about winning, what they're trying to do.
I think we want to do it. I think.
Yeah. Are you guys trying to like do winning this year?
You guys doing it?
And it was a resounding hell yeah. They were all like, we're tired of not making the playoffs. We want to make the playoffs. And I was like, sign me up.
I think it's a fair question. As someone who was on the other side of the fence a week ago, you battled this team in 17 and 18. You battled them in 21. You battled them with the last couple of years around the league. Like, what's going on with the Red Sox? Like, was that a prevailing thought?
No, not at all. Because
I thought it.
I did too.
We've thought it a lot.
We've had a lot of thoughts about it.
I didn't think it because when you're playing the Red Sox the last few years, one thing you noticed about when you were playing them is sometimes they were banged up a little bit. Sometimes they weren't. Sometimes they were healthy. Sometimes they weren't. But they always played their ass off. They played so hard. I think, and honestly, Jaron Duran sets the tone for that. And when we saw him play in Houston, when I saw him play, I played against him in Boston, and then I saw him play in Houston because I was dealing with the elbow thing that I had. He hits like a single to right field. He's on second base, steals third, boom, scores. Next at bat, Oppo homer. Next at bat, like stretches a double to a triple, and you're like, "Holy cow!" He's playing at just a different speed.
Yeah,
putting pressure on the defense. I think they were like fourth last year in causing errors on the defense, and it's like they played their tail off. A lot of guys, it was their first year in the big league. Some guys still young, but they played their tail off. They competed. Their game planning against them offensively, Tech does such a great job of switching up the game plan, making adjustments from game to game, not just series to series. By no means it was like that. It was a tough matchup every year.
I'm less talking about the players because you're right. We did have a lot of young guys coming up, and Casas missed basically all last year. Story's been banged up, definitely. But as like the franchise, were you happy because you ultimately wanted to end up here that they were acting more serious financially, whereas in the last couple of years that wasn't necessarily the case?
No, 100%. 100%. I think that they showed that when they went and got Crochet, they went and got Bueller. And to be honest, it wasn't the worst thing when you got Marcelo and Campbell and Roman coming. Casas is very young. He's going to be a stud. He already is a stud. And then obviously Devers is still so young. Duran's young. I mean, it's an exciting team. It really reminds me a lot of when we were younger in Houston. So I'm really looking forward to this opportunity.
I did want to say real quick on the Houston note, like you guys obviously went through a lot. There are a lot of ups, a few downs. I mean, really a lot of ups. It was a lot of winning and obviously some controversy. But how hard is it to leave that organization when that's all you've known? And when so many people have been like anti-Astros, I'm sure that gave you guys some extra juice too. You're now leaving that situation and coming to a whole new team that you competed against in some big moments. I know the Sox obviously aren't in division, but about as big a rival as you can get for a team that's not in the AL West. How hard was that, switch to make?
No, it was a super difficult decision. I have so much love for every single player that I played with there. I feel like we built relationships for our lifetime and friendships for our lifetime. And I loved being their teammate every single day. Their front office and ownership gave me a chance out of the draft to go play for them. And I'll always be grateful for that. And their fans were just incredible. Like, obviously, living in Houston over the last 9 years. The people there are amazing. Great fans, great organization, top to bottom, and I really can't say enough good things about them. So it was definitely difficult for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like when the news broke, obviously a bunch of Astros fans follow me because I mean the Red Sox and Astros have had so many battles in the postseason that they're kind
Because of the Chapman video.
Yeah, like really, it's like, hey, like when it's like we're gonna go head to head in the postseason a lot, but you're also gonna go head to head with the Yankees a lot, and you're gonna want me on your side. So it was kind of a love-hate relationship between me and Astros fans. But when you signed with Boston, I don't know if you saw the tweet, but I was like, they were very gracious in handing over custody of Alex Bregman to me. They were like, we know you're going to treat him great. Like, good luck with them. But the one thing that I did see a lot of is be patient with him because he's going to have a tough April. Did you ever like think like maybe I should just be good in April? Like, should I like if you start the season hitting like 350, like with a 1250, it just put up Fenway numbers in April, and then we won't have to talk about like a slow start. Have you thought?
So he's
just
dicking around in spring training.
Yeah,
I've considered it. And I'm hoping to get off to a hot start this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're right. I've made them suffer through April and May for the last 9 years, and it hasn't been pretty. But on the other side of it, August and September have been beautiful, and October and November
and October. Yeah, so that's why I only say that because I'm kind of tipping off Red Sox fans. Like, hey, if he starts off slow.
If we're
That's
on
just
the road,
what he does.
Or it's early in the season, this guy stinks.
If he doesn't play anywhere but home games,
right. Is that going to be weird for you to be cheered away from Houston for the first time?
I don't know if that will be the case, Jared.
Are you stupid? You don't think you're going to get a standing ovation at Fenway Park?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like I mean,
I
they're gonna be
thought
like,
you were talking about on the road wherever we go on the road.
No.
Boo this guy, but
they're
Fenway
gonna
Park,
hate you.
Come on.
I mean, they pretty like you're not gonna know the difference because if you had signed, like if you had played for the Marlins and you were a stud there, and then you came to the Red Sox, then you'd be like, oh, it's gonna be weird getting booed at Yankee Stadium, but you already get booed at Yankee Stadium, so you're good. Now you're gonna get a standing ovation when you go back to Houston. They're gonna love you there still. And now you're going to get a standing ovation in Boston. That's a big deal.
You're crazy.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I think you're right.
I'm usually.
We'll see.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Hey, here's our starting, I guess, catcher, Alex Bregman, batting second, number 2, the
our
catcher,
home-only player, 81 games a year."
Yeah,
the funny thing is, based on how like Bregman's answer the questions, you'd probably, hey, haven't done catcher, but I'm just trying to win. Like, let's put the gear on.
Catcher? Yup. I'll put on the pads. I'll put on the chest protector. Give me the mask. I'll get behind the dish.
And then Tristan's going to be like, yeah, he's built for this. I think he's going to be good. I really,
Poor Connor Wong.
Yeah.
I like
trying to help the team win. Win.
This is going to be tossing over to UT, by the way. But yeah, I'm teeing you up, pun intended.
Get the ball to T.
So Jared had mentioned that maybe you're not awesome in April. I'm noticing the only
I didn't say that. Astros fans said that. I didn't say
April and May.
Yeah, I was just pointing out what they said.
We're gonna keep the May out of this. So via Astros,
I think you're fucking awesome in April, Alex.
Bad on the road too.
Thank you.
I think you're great too. Yep, and sucks on the road. He just sucks every. No, he's awesome. But
better on the road.
April, apparently, better on the road. Apparently in April, and I'm saying apparently, I'm looking right at the stats right now. It's the only month over the course of your career that you have 0 triples. Now, this guy Tyler Milliken, I believe he's agreed to doing nips for trips once again. When a Red Sox player gets a triple, he shows his nipples, and it's a huge deal. Everybody goes nuts on Twitter.
They love it.
So I'm not asking you to promise us, but can you at least try to hit a triple
and when you
April?
slide into
because
third,
then we'll
just
go
make
nuts.
some sort of nipple gesture.
Right down the line. Just let it roll right past the pesky pole, right down there into the corner.
If you hit a triple, it's going to be nuts. We're going to go crazy.
If you hit a triple, people will think that like you're pointing to the Red Sox, but we'll know that you're pointing to your nipples. we'll know. It's just for us.
I'll do it.
All right.
You
April
like that,
triple's
Tyler?
coming.
Yes, please. I'm dying to take this
You
shirt
like
off.
that? Yeah. Go ahead. The floor is yours, Tyler.
Thank you. But yeah, so over the course of the offseason, I think there were a lot of people that were kind of citing your 2018 and 2019 numbers and, framing it like Bregman wasn't the same player he was 5-6 years ago. I think you still obviously been hitting 25 to 26 home runs. Jared, don't do that to me because you did this earlier. Still been hitting 25 to 26 home runs the last couple seasons. Still a well above average bat, but the walk rate essentially was cut in half this past year. Was that on purpose? Were you trying to be more aggressive? Is that something you're trying to get back to? What's kind of the outlook?
No, that was a mechanical issue. I was going forward towards the pitcher, and when you go forward towards the pitcher, the ball moves on you. So for the beginning part of the season last year, and see, Tyler, this is actually a question the Red Sox asked me when I was meeting with them about the walk rate.
Okay,
but I was going forward towards the pitcher, ball's moving on me, and I have pretty good bat to ball skills. So when I swing it goes in play. And when mechanically you're off and you put the ball in play, normally you're not going to get a good result. So, and then later in the year, I got to feeling really good again. And I was seeing the ball so well, I was just really swinging at everything because it felt like every time I swung, it was barreled up. So, but yeah, obviously haven't done 18 or 19 in a while, but, 4-WAR floor isn't terrible, I guess.
We need it.
Go.
That's what I'm saying.
Beyond that, just hearing you kind of talk
Cook
hitting,
his ass.
that's been something that the Red Sox
Took his ass.
Roast this guy.
Spare me, please. No, but kind of talking hitting like you just did, and talking through things earlier in your career. How much did it mean kind of being with the Astros and having some of those guys around you, and now with the Red Sox? Just talking hitting these first couple days. Is there anyone that's kind of stood out to you as like, man, this guy's a guru, or he kind of really speaks the same language as me?
Well, just the first 3 days and talking with all three of the hitting coaches, they've all been great. And I kind of felt a little off the day that I got in, actually, and it took about 20 swings. And then I think Pete or Rosie said something, and then Dylan saw something, and they were like, hey, what if you tried this? And I narrowed up about that much in my stance, and felt incredible and started feeling normal again in the box. So just talking hitting with them has been awesome. I actually talked to their player development department about what they're trying to accomplish with player development, and it's really exciting what they're doing. And it reminded me a lot of our player development. And when I first got into the minor leagues with the Astros, when I first got out of college, they told me, hey, you hit the ball on the ground too much. You make contact, so you only need to swing if it's down the middle, and you need to hit the ball in the air, and you need to pull the ball in the air. And
Can't do a lot of stuff.
after talking with them and seeing the work that they do in the cage with all the guys, it's pretty impressive, their player development.
I think my last one is just going to be on AC. So much was made of that relationship you had with him. With the Tigers rumors, it was AJ Hinch. Just kind of connecting those dots. How much did Alex Cora being here have, you interested in Boston and wanting to come here? And kind of how has that relationship grown from when he was a bench coach to now your manager in Boston?
Yeah, so I have a great relationship with both of them. I actually spoke with both of them throughout the entirety of the free agent process. I think they're obviously two of the best managers in the game. And I feel like super fortunate to be able to play for AC again. He's a grinder, gamer, dude who loves the game of baseball, competitor, great communicator, knows how to get the most out of his players, just a special baseball mind. And to be around him again, I've just been every time I walk by his office, we're both just pumped.
Yeah. Yeah, he was fired up. He's
listening to the song too. Just in the
yeah, both your ringtones.
We had dinner at his house the other night, and a bunch of the guys were over there, and it was just so much fun. And I mean, all the guys are in great spirits here. Obviously we're busting our tails every single day to get better as a team and work on the little things that we need to work on in spring training. But just I think he said something about like if the vibes were for you could get a trophy for the vibes. I don't think he was lying because the vibes are great down here.
Yeah, that's what Giolito said. He said the vibes were off the charts, is what he said earlier this morning.
They are.
I got two more, and then I'm done, and I forget one of them. Oh yes, okay. So it's basically a compliment to you that everyone just like there's no concern whatsoever that Bregman's gonna play second base. Oh, like has he played? No, like there's no concern whatsoever. How has the second base? I know it's early, but like, do you have any concerns whatsoever, or are you just out there being like, yeah, like this, turn double play, whatever, it's short throw to first?
No, I feel good. I obviously worked there this off season and working in the mornings with Flo on just some of the different intricacies of playing second base, the double play turns. Been doing some cutoff and relay stuff for the first time in a long time. Took ground balls there today, talking with Vaughn and some of the other guys about different things that they've been taught at second base. Things that he learned from Ron Washington, things that he's learned from Ramon AC and guys here in Boston. And I feel comfortable there. I feel like I think the last time I got consistent time there was probably when I was 17 years old for Team USA. But when you playing in when you're playing in the summer in like college baseball, and we were traveling around, we'd take ground balls on both sides of the bag. And every once in a while I'd take ground balls there during the season last year, just messing around. So obviously there's some things that I need to iron out that are different than third base, like different angles and different footwork on plays. But I feel like the more reps I get, the more comfortable it'll be. I feel like I've played more games. I don't know. Maybe in my lifetime, I've played more games there than at third base.
In your life, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
In my lifetime, because I played it all through high school and everything like that.
How long is the New Mexico high school baseball schedule? The MLB plays 162.
Yeah,
well, we play like 80 games in the summer and maybe 30 in the. Sure. All right, you got me. You're right. All right,
you got me. Yeah, the math ain't mathing. All right, there.
Yeah. Math isn't my strong suit.
No, nor you don't have to.
Plays ball.
Yeah. The last question that I have, I remembered it. It was reported that Dustin Pedroia was one of the guys who was helping to recruit you to the Boston Red Sox. What was he saying? What were some of the things that Dustin picks up the phone to call you? How is he trying to sell you on the Boston Red Sox?
Oh, he just told me how great it was to play for the Red Sox, what it was like when he was there, what it's like now. Obviously, he comes down to spring and throughout the year up to Boston, and he just told me what it was like and the ins and outs of Boston as a city, the ins and outs of playing at Fenway every day, and just I asked him a bunch of questions about baseball and his career there, and told him that I love, like, it was. I have a picture on my phone of when I think I'm sliding into second and he's turning to double play, and sent him that photo. That's pretty much it. The rest I don't really want to share.
That's fine. We get it. We know how that goes. Steve, you have the last one.
Yeah. Really important question here. There's a legendary GIF of you at Fenway Park. It's an all-time reaction. You're in the Astros, you're going absolutely wild. I forget exactly what happened there. I think it was that 2017 playoff series. Yeah. Essentially, what will it take for you to recreate that in a Red Sox jersey this season? Because I think we'd all love to see it.
Winning a playoff game at Fenway.
Okay,
I'll recreate it. That's it. Winning a playoff game at Fenway. I feel like that would be super super special, and I'd definitely break out that celly again. Hell but yeah. I think it was like that was actually right before Devers hit that inside the Parker.
It
So I
was
was
probably
worried.
Devers grand home run. You were pumped.
I was worried.
It was
I
the
was-
Devers inside the puck over.
I was
Yeah.
worried. I was worried that it might have been a premature celebration at the time, but it ended up being all right.
There you go. All right. Is Betty by time? So that's Alex Bregman, infielder for the Boston Red Sox. We can't quite
Play the
commit.
song.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that's Alex Bregman, infielder for the Boston Red Sox. Your Boston Red Sox, number 2, hitting atop the order, trying to get the Sox back to the postseason for the first time since 2021, where Laz Diaz was the ALCS MVP for the Houston Astros. Should have been the Red Sox going to the World Series that year, but unfortunately got fucked by Laz. First time going back to the playoffs since 21. That'll be very exciting. Very exciting if that happens. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not.
Poor
Nope,
Nate
I'm not.
Eovaldi.
No, we got
Who's
boned. That's okay. You should be pissed about that. You should have been Laz. What the fuck? You're on the Sox now.
Coley makes a good point. Erod was the MVP. I think we.
Yeah,
Eddie.
Erod was the MVP for the Astros as well as Laz Diaz. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew
right.
this was a great idea to get on.
Yeah. Mhm. This
Can't wait
was
to see you next
This
week.
was awesome.
Hey,
This was
great.
clean.
No trouble.
I appreciate all y'all. I'm ready to get this season started.
Yeah, let's get to work. Let's win a fucking World Series again. Let's get number 3. You need to catch up to Mookie. You know what I'm saying? You get that third one, then it's like, hey, you know what? Now we got 3 rings rocking over here. You're not the only one with 3 rings in this league.
All right.
We'll see you this weekend too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, big time.
We'll see you down here.
All right,
guys.
Later.
thank you. Wow, big thanks to Alex Bregman for making his Section 10 debut. The vibes are high. Everyone's feeling great, which is probably a perfect time to tell you that we're not putting out an episode on Friday.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. We did the Bregman interview. What, Tyler? What?
Hold up. I know what we're doing here.
What?
As
All right.
celebration of the first Red Sox spring training game of the year, the Red Sox versus Northeastern, we want everyone watching that and enjoying that on Friday instead of listening to the pod.
I mean, people would probably do both. People have done that in the past.
Don't want to get distracted.
No, I get it. But the logic was we have Bregman as promised. We said if Alex Bregman signs here, we'll get him on immediately. And we did. And obviously there was some drama in camp. And we kind of want to address all that before it becomes old news. Like, I don't know. Is it already
If
old
anything,
news?
you're getting the bonus pod right now. Like this, what's coming up here is essentially going to be the bonus pod breaking down the drama. We didn't want you to have to wait
Yeah.
till Friday to hear that.
Yeah.
And we
Like
got-
you're getting 2 pot.
It's a 2 for
Cole, you
1.
disagree?
An hour of graveyard talk still to come. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
We're
So
gonna
you're actually
we're gonna
getting
do
double bonus
graveyard
pods.
talk first,
Mhm.
and
That's
then
more
we're gonna
important.
get into the drama after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while you guys were listening to our interview with Alex Bregman, we were kind of just racking our brains for how this could really work. And to me, land is a finite thing, brother. There's and land is valuable. I feel like if there's land out there that could be built on apartments, not malls anymore. Malls are not like new malls
No,
aren't
big
happening. Yeah, malls are not happening. But apartment complexes, I guess they're kind of doing those outdoor malls more, like shopping areas, like you know
Sure.
what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Commerce
like,
is
that,
still
Place.
big in the streets. Yeah.
like Patriot Place, but not Patriot Place. Like they're doing
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
What about like breweries?
Like a Blue Moon situation?
Yeah, like in Golden, Colorado.
I think if you were to build a Blue Moon brewery in Boston,
Mhm.
now you're talking about like, oh, so the parking lot is going to be this like similar to Gillette. Like, how are we going to be able to figure out how we're going to accommodate all of our customers, our patrons?
Sure.
Either way, if you were to ask me, because even if you love beer, Steve, and I know you
Yeah.
love beer,
Oh, big time.
there are some moments that you want to enjoy a non-alcoholic drink. Celebrate those times with Blue Moon's non-alcoholic Belgian white, Belgian-style wheat brew. It's for when you want to drink a non-alcoholic version of your favorite beer. It just dawned on me. Obviously, Steve already knew, but I texted him to be like, "Are you aware of this?" And then he got mad because he's like, "Obviously, I know."
Yeah.
That while we are in spring training, are you coming to Arizona, Steve?
No.
All right, never mind.
Yeah. That's kind of why I thought the text conversation didn't make a ton of sense, because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not part of that we. I'm part of the Florida we.
Yeah, it's just registering now.
Mhm.
East
I can
Coast
see.
we.
I'm the
Yeah,
East Coast we. You're the West Coast we.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be in Arizona for Elimination Chamber.
Mm.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I might just watch by myself. Is that terrible?
I don't know. I've thrown around the idea of still opening my house to the group.
I'm just watching with Train.
Yeah.
Train loved that.
She honestly, it was her idea. It was her idea.
It's
She was
her
like,
idea.
yeah, she was like, they can still come over and
Where all
watch it
these
if they
poor
want.
bastards go if you're not here?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I'll still order the Papagenos.
Yeah.
Send it over.
I think
The Mother
ALCS
Teresa.
Game 5 is on after.
North Shore wrestling fans. Just
Yeah.
opening.
Just everyone's at my house while I'm in Arizona, just grinding.
It's
Everyone's
worse
like,
things.
yeah.
It's a hell of a place.
You'd be so mad if you'd much rather be at your house.
For that, yeah. Yeah, like I would rather be there for the Elimination Chamber with all my wrestling fan pals, but I think I'd be most upset that I'm missing out on all the Blue Moon.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah. Inspired by the beer you already love and available year-round, a Belgian white, Belgian-style wheat brew that tastes like drinking, even if it's not. Crafted with Valencia orange peel and coriander, it tastes balanced and refreshing. Nothing compares to the great taste of Blue Moon, non-alcoholic Belgian white, Belgian-style wheat brew. Blue Moon, made brighter. Get Blue Moon, non-alcoholic Belgian white, Belgian-style wheat brew, delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared for delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Non-alcoholic malt beverage, contains less than 0.5 alcohol per volume.
Sucking.
Suck one.
Yeah.
Suck one.
Yep.
Yep.
Alex Bregman's
Yeah.
FaceTiming me right now. Should I answer it?
Yeah.
He wants to do a
worried.
kind of post-game recap here.
What happened to
we gotta-
Sleepy Boy? I thought he
gotta-
was going
we gotta-
snooze town.
We got to stop down. All right, hold on. Sorry about that. Alex he was asking about the graveyard discussion. Coley?
I noticed, as a noticer myself, Bregman asked you to hit the horn twice in that interview, and boy, did you. I asked you, I still haven't had my horn.
He's
Could be a
canning
self.
himself. It's a
Yeah, it's
self.
got to be a
It's
self.
Yep. Well, who's
That
calling
was-
on
I
you,
mean-
T?
someone pick me, please.
No,
Anybody.
That's not what we do in the middle of it. That's how you get suspended in the middle of the suspension.
Well, I'm just
a
stepping
guy
up
who
here.
wants- Shut the fuck up, Tyler.
No, you know what? You shut the fuck up. Suspend Coley for drinking a fuck.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, you can't have two guys in the penalty box, so I actually had
No,
to shorten the
can't.
suspension.
And T just started saying a competitor's name on the show, which is much worse than me drinking one out in public. That was you're so lucky you got hit when you got hit there. Yeah, that's the double suspension. That was crazy.
Yeah, I
crazy
forgot
you
about
tried
that
to say
too. So here's the thing. I did see. All right. Now that there's been 2 suspensions and 1 trial that's about to start, I was suspended because I didn't hit the horn, and I acknowledged that on Twitter. Did I not, Coley?
Well, you said I'm just dying to hear it, and I'm still dying to hear the horn.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I should have hit the horn. Lesson learned. I'll take my time in the box. T suspended for you don't talk to Coley like that. You just don't.
I couldn't believe you said it, T. I
you
couldn't
don't
believe
talk
you
to
said
Coley
that.
like that.
No one talks to Coley like that. Like
Someone had to speak up, and I was willing to, put my hand up and be that
Jack was in
guy.
the box. I was getting my point off, and here you come, you waddling in.
I strolled in. I was walking
You can't.
nicely.
Yeah, you got to let the ref sort it out.
You sauntered in,
Yeah,
yell at
and
me.
then Coley was photographed consuming an alcoholic beverage that may or may not have been a competitor. And before Coley even has to speak on this ridiculous accusation, I'll tell you what happened, Tyler.
Please.
He drank all the Blue Moons. So if Coley drank all the Blue Moons, do you want him to just stop? Like,
Die of thirst?
Yeah.
No
What's he
other
supposed to
alcohol
do
is
at
worth
that
consuming.
What do you suppose? Like, his night's over just because wherever he was, like, were you at a nice restaurant, Coley?
Oh, we're in the North End doing it real big.
Oh, so here's a fucking suspension for the North End for running out of Blue Moons.
That's right.
Not for
go.
Coley.
That's all
Not
I was
for
trying
Coley.
to do. I just wanted
Not
someone
for
to take
Coley.
accountability.
That's
It
a
didn't have to be
suspension
him.
for the. We don't have to throw a certain establishment under the bus.
Correct.
But the
I would
North
never.
End is catching a big time suspension for running out of Blue Moons, forcing Coley to drink a beer that happened to be a competitor. What else was he supposed to do? Like, the waiter comes out or waitress and says, hey, like, you know, we're out of Blue Moon. Do you want another beer? He's supposed to say no?
Well, I asked for the manager, and I gave him quite a talking to,
Yeah.
because you should never run out of BMs, especially this time of year.
No.
So that was, we got the whole bill comped because of that egregious act.
And that was a nice gesture, but it's still not
Yeah.
going to save them from getting a suspension on this show.
Yeah, it didn't
So.
make up for it, but it was a nice thought.
Yeah. Should we suspend T for trying to be a tattletale?
Whoa. I
I'm
can't
just
bring
asking.
up something? I
I'm
can't.
just asking.
I'm more upset. And I don't know if you guys have really noticed it yet. This guy's reached for his new metal straw glass concoction that he's got going, and it makes like a janitor's keys jangling every
Yeah,
time
it
he
does.
fucking takes a sip.
Yeah.
It's called a metal straw. It's this new piece of
You
technology.
would have a metal straw.
What does that
Yeah.
mean? What's wrong with a metal straw?
I'm saying while we're recording to clank it around on the mic, T.
Yeah, I could be a little quieter. I can admit that, but it feels good texture-wise and on my tongue, and that bothers me a lot sipping out of the side of the glass.
Okay.
I have sensitive teeth.
All right.
All right, yards.
Yeah. So graveyard. Yep. T.
Fuck my mom. Speaking of graveyards.
That's crazy.
What is
That's
T doing right
crazy.
now? I want to get back to yards. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do some yard talk here.
I will not fuck your mom.
One opinion that we haven't gotten at all in this discussion is from Jake.
Yeah.
Where are you at on graveyards, Jake? Are you someone that thinks that there's a conspiracy going on? Like, are you someone that thinks it's just like they're ripping bodies out of the ground? Like, what's up?
I can't say I haven't thought about it too much until right about now, but
Yeah.
it does make no sense that we haven't heard of any grand openings. I don't know. Maybe they're just dumping bodies in the ocean at this point. It just feels like
They did it to Bin Laden.
Yeah.
Mhm. Who's next?
They did. They did. I don't know, but I don't want to be buried at sea. I don't belong in the drink. Not me.
It feels like the most like economical
Steve?
way. Steve?
No, call it.
It feels like the most economical way to go about it. Just get eaten by some fucking whale.
What if, because we don't know what happens when we die. Like, what happens if like your soul stays with your body and it's like, fuck, now I'm eaten by a whale because I
Come
want
on,
to
whale time the rest of eternity? That's sick.
They're majestic.
What happens when the whale dies? You're just stuck in there.
You become the
We
whale.
merge.
I don't know. I don't know that I'm getting down with
What happens? You're just in the box underground? That's scary.
Steve. I'm putting a TV in there. Steve.
Just real quick, I wanted to get these off. So I was looking up
Multiple
like what are they
TVs.
gonna do?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do when they run out of space? Which it kind of seems like they're at now. Now the first thing they had listed for next steps is the first thing Jerry mentioned: expanding the cemetery's geographic footprint. Which at some point you run out of land. Like it's not about.
Big time.
I love
We've
that
been
being
out
a
of
thing
land.
too. It's like just expand the land. You can't just expand land. Like there's
No, it's finite.
it gets crossed off. Like you don't have enough left. The next one on here is changing eligibility criteria, which I found very funny.
You gotta get voted into the graveyard.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime someone dies, they're like,
yeah,
is this
like you
guy
had to have had an
worthy of this?
awesome life to go on the ground. Otherwise, we burn your body, we throw it in the trash.
I don't
100%.
hate that. I don't hate, you gotta earn.
You gotta earn the urn, brother.
Something about that just feels, it just feels so wrong. You die, and then immediately it's like, all right, let's do a vote. Like, does this guy deserve to be put underground, or can we just get rid of him right now? Next one was, what do you got?
Don't they have like casket lockers? Like, isn't Marilyn Monroe, like her casket is kind of like buried in like a wall somewhere?
Oh yeah, what's that word?
I see that in like shows and movies and stuff where they're like, all right, if you want to see the body, and they like pull it out, which I'd rather be underground than just be in a locker. That doesn't feel like a lot of fun.
It's not a locker, but it's kind of a locker. Like there's rows of them. Like they're basically like on top of each other, but
it's like a PO box.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
This next one was interesting. Burials on top of existing graves.
In on this one, super in. You get it like 50% off. If anything, maybe you work something out with the previous family, so they get something out of it too.
What?
I thought this meant like putting more land on top of the graves and then
doesn't fix the issue. You're using the same land. You still run out of land that way.
Or dig deeper. Do not.
I guess, but you can. It's almost like it's like a burial parking garage at that point.
Essentially, yeah.
That's
not
like
the
a family
craziest
plot.
idea.
But then how do you visit? Like then it takes away the whole like 6 feet deep. It's like, well, I'm actually at 12 feet deep.
Yeah. You take an elevator up to floor 8 to see, Nana. Like I don't
grandma,
know what the. Yeah,
well, I mean, technically, you don't go to the casket. You just go to where it's buried. So I don't know. I would feel weird if I went to go visit a dead relative at their grave, but like there's 20 other dudes that are like in the same line going all the way down like 500 feet.
It
like,
doesn't
we
really
ran
work.
out of. Yeah, I guess like it's a great business to be in because you could just keep charging. It's like, oh yeah, like you got to get the premium package where only your family can go in this direct line down to the earth. Otherwise, we're putting Chad, Brad, and Steve in the same spot. Yes, Tyler.
I think people need to get back to burying relatives in their backyard and different stuff like that.
When the fuck did that happen?
I buried my first dog in my backyard.
Yeah, we did too. Yeah.
I think that's something a lot of people used to do.
It's an animal.
It is illegal, but we did do it.
Yeah,
It's illegal?
Yeah, you can't bury things. That's not how that works.
Just why
can't
pay
you
for someone
can't
else's
bury
property?
a pet in the backyard?
You should. I feel like you should be able to. We had the wiffle ball field, and then we buried Mosey past the fence. It was like a memorial, kind of like the Little League World Series park that they have out there at Center. It felt normal, but then I remember finding out that it was illegal and just didn't tell anybody. I don't know who you tell about that. Like, hey,
well, you
keep
just
it quiet.
told tens of thousands of people.
Well, now we're not at that house anymore. But no, I would just have to think that there's like who's illegal to who? Like who's coming over to see? Like, hey, you got any pets back here? Like who finds
Did you
that
dig
out?
the dog up when you guys moved, or you just left it there?
No, that dog's still there. Yeah.
Bullets in Brockton. Bullets at my original house right now.
What's the
I
address?
don't
Steve?
see. That's why I don't like it.
I still own the property. I don't own the property.
Yeah,
My
you
family
keep
owns the
saying
property.
that.
I'm sorry.
At least our dog died of natural causes, so we didn't kill it.
Oh, thanks for throwing that in my face, Steve. I really appreciate that.
See, that's what would kill me is like if I had to move and then you like leave, like you can't just like go back to like a house that someone else owns and be like, sorry, I'm just visiting my dog. Like what?
That part is a little tough.
Because then the new homeowner would be like, get this fucking thing out of here. Like this is my backyard.
At that, it's not like it was like a physical grave. Like it's not like there's a gravestone back there. We just like
there's something.
There's some sort of circle of rocks. We put a circle of rocks, and then that kind of got spread out over time. So what did you do, T? Did you do the?
Well, when we came back with Bullet in the box, my dad asked the neighbor because he had a not a crane, but like one of those things you dig in the ground. Yes, and he went in our backyard because it's like a very woody area. Dug it up actually right in front of like a big rock that kind of represented it. We never wrote anything on it, but that's where Bullet laid next to the shed.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
Digging in general is just like pretty illegal. They don't want you digging.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You have water underground, don't you?
Everyone
You could have a lot. You could have water lines, especially if you're in a city. Like you could really fuck some shit up.
Dude,
digging
it's
where
impossible.
you're not supposed to.
I've learned a lot. My dad's been fixing up houses his whole life.
Shout
I've
out
learned
Alan Peralt. Shout out Alan Peralt.
Shout out.
Al.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about like the digging rules. Coley is totally right. You can't dig anywhere. And the approval takes forever. It takes months to get approved. I'm like, what are we? There's open land. Why can't I dig? And it's like, I own the land. And they got to go through 1 million people. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's crazy. You see what Casas said?
Nope.
Bleeding from the front.
Jake, try and find the most recently opened graveyard. Like the like see if there's like any news like, oh yeah, like Medford, brand new graveyard. Come on down if you died. Tyler?
I think I have it right here.
What is it?
New national cemeteries have opened in Elko, Nevada, Cedar City, Utah, and Queens, New York in 2023. The
Queens
National
definitely
Cemetery
didn't have space.
Administration has opened 10 new ones since 2015.
So what about Massachusetts?
Let's find out.
Like when's the most recently opened graveyard in the
1820.
state of Massachusetts?
All right.
Yeah.
There's no way this is accurate, but it says Pine Grove Cemetery in Westford, Mass. in 2000.
It's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's been a quarter of a century since the last time a new cemetery opened.
Damn.
You mentioned this earlier, Jared, but like, how do these not fill up so fast? There's so much death every day.
How did they?
Yeah. How did what, Steve?
What just happened?
You froze. You said you mentioned this earlier, Jared, but how?
I am in an all-time battle with internet.
Yeah.
People die every single day. If you're opening up a new cemetery, how are they not being filled up immediately?
Right. How many people in the world die every day?
It's like a million. It's got to be
Coley,
150,000 people a day.
That's way lower than I would have guessed.
I thought it would have been a million.
150,000 a day.
Is that just U.S.?
No, that's the world, brother.
That's crazy.
Also, getting buried is very expensive. Like I'd say probably like
Oof.
70% of people cannot afford it.
Super pricey.
I mean, that's about 2 deaths per second and about 6,400 deaths per hour.
Can we do a quick moment
Where
of
are they
silence
going?
for whoever
Where are
just
they
died?
going? Huh?
Can we do a quick moment of silence for whoever just died this past second?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going. I don't understand how they have enough
people died
space
during that.
for these
Yeah,
people.
I don't know. I think we might have had this conversation before, and I feel like some person that works in a graveyard reached out and like gave us kind of like an explanation on how
We're
they
gonna
use
get
that.
info. We're gonna get a lot of info at this
Yeah.
point because we got a lot of reaction to your standee from people that are at liquor stores.
Yeah, so it's on Blue Moon, right?
It's on Blue Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be talking to the folks at Blue Moon tomorrow.
Demanding answers.
You're like,
Yeah, I
if
think-
I'm not in every liquor store.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little talk because I think what the world needs is a tea standee this time around.
Wow.
I'd be posted up.
Yeah, you know what I asked for? I was like, we at the time that the photos were taken for the standee that we did last year, we didn't quite have the 10 back yet. Like it wasn't official.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, like, can we do like a group standee? That'd be cool. But if it's too big because of Tyler, then let's just do Tyler.
That was so mean.
What? I'm trying to make you famous, dude. What the
I'm
fuck?
confused. Why would I immediately make it too big?
You are burly.
So if you had taken me out and let's say, I don't know, let's throw in Mike Eamon just as, a body replacement, it would work.
Emond.
Yes, it would work.
Yeah, then we fit. Yeah.
Okay. That's very mean. Very hurtful.
What do you mean?
Uh,
He's like a in shape guy.
I think we like round each other out well. I really do. I think, we're all slightly different weight. Like Coley has more of the height. Steve's very skinny. Jared, you're kind of compressed, some would say. And
What
then
the
there's
fuck
me.
does that mean?
I'm not trying to be a dick or anything like
what
that.
the fuck does that mean?
I'm just not that compressed. I'm more expanded width-wise.
I just want to say real
Compressed?
quick. Can I say something real fast here?
What is
Steve-
no? What does compressed mean?
You look like someone, when Mario eats the mushroom and he grows to the next one, it looks like you should have 2 of those transformations.
Is this a confusing suspension coming up here?
I don't know what he's trying to say.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, I mean, are you calling me fat? I don't get it. What?
I think I'm calling you the opposite. I'm calling you compressed. Mike, you have a great body.
You did say like it would be a 1-for-1 if we traded out you for Emond.
But you said he would fit.
I don't know. All right, we can move on because I don't know what you're saying.
I'm
I
just
have a way
pumped
with
out
words.
that I'm very skinny. I'll take that. I haven't heard that in decades. Thank you,
Steve.
Steve.
You look great.
Steve,
Appreciate it.
On this panel, yeah. Yeah.
I'm 205. I don't know if I'm very skinny, but I'll take it. I'll take
How tall are
it.
you?
Fives
What,
are
like 6'1",
respectable
6'2"?
weight.
What's up?
You're like 6'2", right?
6'2.5". Yep.
Yeah, you're not compressed.
No, true.
I'm like 185.
Yeah,
I am
Jared's
one.
never been. Jared
Fatso.
eats terribly. He does fatso things, but he's not fat.
No.
Yeah. I can be fat at times. I've gotten fluffy at times, but not anymore, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, Casas.
Can you believe what Casa said?
It was the
I mean-
least shocking thing I heard of like the first 3 press conferences. What? Because it went what? Devers, Cora, and then Casas was the next day. Do I have that right?
It was Cora reacting and then, the next
Yeah.
day after watching it and then Casas.
And then Casas led off the day like, I'm ready to give my take if anyone wants.
yeah.
And
I
then
know people
Yoshida
are
went
waiting for
out
what I
there. It's
think
like,
here.
some of the Red Sox were like, call in Yoshida. They're not going to ask him about this for a second. Please
No.
get Yoshida up there.
We should probably start with Devers though, right?
I was going to say, yeah, what Casas said to me was the tamest thing out of the first 3 that any of them said.
We
I
should
thought
go in chronological order.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do Raffy.
Devers
Yeah.
being as like picking and choosing when to speak English, and specifically when they're asking about being DH and him just going no right to Shaughnessy. Very funny, but I couldn't
Was it
believe like,
Shaughnessy that asked Devers' weight?
Yeah.
The look on his face was like one of the few moments where you saw like the guard come down and he was like, whoa, like you're disrespecting me. Watch yourself.
Yeah. He still answered the
240.
question, though. He said 240.
240,
Yeah.
which I believe he looks 240.
Yeah. 240 is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, Devers is standing his ground, which I've echoed Coley's take a bunch of. If he had just given up the position, then everyone would call him lazy. If he just came in and was like, "Oh, you want third base? You can have it," then everyone would have been like, "Wow, okay, all right. Like, why don't you go make your $30 million to not play third base and then go hit?" Like, it would have been an issue either way, which is weird to me too, because Devers is such a beloved player. I think it's probably too strong to say that we're teetering on fans turning on him. I don't think that fans are turning on him. Some fans are upset that he isn't saying the right things. But no one is except for Bregman. Like, everyone else is saying the wrong things too. I know that there's going to be some Casas defenders on this show, like T. I like Casas. I don't think that he should speak for the big 3 and when they make the big league roster. I didn't care so much. Like when people were saying, "Oh, like it's bad that he spoke about Devers being his third baseman and the best third." He's having his teammates back. Like, that's fine. Like,
He spoke up for the veterans.
Yep.
All the veterans.
I have no problem with the quotes about the big 3. Like, if you're saying those guys should make the opening day roster,
I do. But Casas does not have the standing in this league. He doesn't have the standing within this team to be the guy that says, "Yeah, these guys shouldn't make the team on opening day." Like, who are you to say that?
They asked him.
That was it. And
But
he went and made the
but-
point. Why should those guys make the roster now over guys who haven't
I've seen
gone?
the takes on there being like, "Oh, well, like you want these guys to have opinions and to be animated and to have interesting answers instead of canned answers. And then when they give you interesting answers, then you tell them to shut up." No, I think it's more so that there was a way to answer that question without answering it the way that he did. Again, I don't have a problem with him saying, like, Raffy Devers is my third baseman. He's the best third baseman in the league. He's having his teammates back. My issue was who are you to say that Campbell shouldn't make the opening day roster? Like, that's like just not something that you should speak openly about. Like, I think it's discouraging to them. Like, now they feel like awkward, like, oh, like
I don't think so.
Tristan Casas doesn't want me up here.
He
like,
works
that's
out
weird.
with Roman Anthony during the offseason. He's
That's
known
weird.
Marcelo Meyer for years. I
But
think
that's
when you're
weird
talking
to say that. Like, he
overall,
doesn't.
in a perfect world, right? He just goes, that's a managerial decision. No story. You should know. You should
Right.
have the self-awareness to know it's going to grab headlines.
Answer. He should have
But
just
I
said
think
that.
the intent, right? I don't think there was any selfish intent here. I don't think he was here like, I want to
It's
make
just
this the Tristan Casas show.
unnecessary. It's
And I don't disagree.
unnecessary to say that.
I
Like,
don't
all
disagree.
he had to say was, AC's got this.
Yep.
I'm excited to be out there healthy. Like, I'm looking forward to control what I personally can control. And I know that Cora and Breslow are going to put the best team on the field. And I'm really excited about this season. We have a great team. That's what he should have said. Like, or something like that. You don't have to say, yeah, I don't need Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer and Christian Campbell making the opening day roster.
But
thanks for your opinion, but like, no one's factoring it into whether or not they make the opening day roster. Like, we
So
don't.
then why would
like,
you care?
because it's discouraging to them. If I'm Christian
not.
Campbell and it's like, man, I'm going to be literally, if I make the opening day roster, I'm going to be standing like 30 feet away from this guy. And he, and he doesn't want me here. Like, he said that.
If that's how they think, if any of the three of them think that way, I don't want them on the team ever.
Which all
Ever.
three of them, or 2 out of 3 of them, spoke today and said, no, we have no problem whatsoever with what Casas said. And
yeah,
for
because
him to say that,
they have the maturity to diffuse the situation.
Well, no, because they also heard everything he said, which was we
Exactly.
have stuff to figure out at this level. They can come up in April or in May. He said, give him a month. He didn't even say, like, I never want to see these fucking idiots ever in my life.
No,
He was
but like,
we got to
but-
figure this shit out up here. Give us a month. The guy just signed.
But
I didn't.
every indication is that the Red Sox would love if Christian Campbell made the team.
yeah.
on
they should say
opening day.
that. They should say that publicly instead of playing this game
Yeah,
they're
that's
playing
the
right
issue.
now. How about they do that instead of just
The issue
dancing
is
around it?
They've got to see it. I mean, they've got to see him
So
play
why are
second
you
base.
ruffling feathers with Rafael Devers and Alex Bregman right now? Why choose to do that? If you need to see it,
What
if
do you
you're
mean?
unsure, it goes to show
They've-
your handling of that situation's poor.
They've locked in Campbell at second,
Yes.
and they just haven't
Say
said
it.
it out loud
No,
because
absolutely.
there's
Own
no. When Cora all off season said Bregman, I don't know why he ever played third. That's a second baseman. Everyone sees it. That's a prototypical Gold Glove second baseman. And then the second he signs, we'll see where he plays. That was the issue. Them not being open. That's Breslow and
That's
Cora
still-
thing. Them not being open with Devers all
100%.
off season is why this is a story right now.
Yep.
I can't get it. That's the top thing that's kind of upset me with this whole process. Like, the fact that Alex Cora was recruiting Bregman to come here as a second baseman is solely to not annoy Rafael Devers on a guy that might not end up coming here. You don't want to ruin it for a situation that, honestly, let's be honest here, like, probably wasn't going to happen. Now Alex Bregman's here, so it's great. But I don't think AC did anything necessarily too wrong there. I mean, the biggest thing the team has messed up here, and Cora has messed up here, is just having maybe some preliminary discussions about his willingness to try DH. It doesn't mean to be like, you have to be the designated hitter, but they weren't going to do that until Bregman signed. And then once he signed, it's like,
dumb.
okay, let's
That
have
is
the conversation.
so stupid. You
But
go
dude,
back to the
all right,
middle of
this is what-
December.
T,
You go back to
this
the
is what
middle of
kills me,
December
like-
after Juan Soto left. Let me just get this out. You go back to December after Juan Soto left. All the reporting, what Jared said, wherever you want to look, they turned their focus to Alex Bregman, and Sean McAdams' report was Plan B was Nolan Arenado. Is that not what played
Sean
out over the
McAdams
final?
report.
Yep, whatever. However you want to frame it, right? You, who, whatever. Those were the reports. It was one or the other. If Cora the entire time was, we're going to, once Bregman signs, he's moving to third base, cool. Nolan Arenado was playing third base no matter what. So if the fact that conversation was going to happen no matter what this entire time, how about you match your words, Craig Breslow, from what you said at the end of the year, where not only did you hype up Rafael Devers' defense, you complimented it. You said, considering his shoulder injuries, he made significant strides this year. This was all out there. We will talk with him before any moves are made. You didn't talk to him before any moves were made. You talked to him after he showed up to camp, was walking around and smiling, shaking hands, kissing babies.
I can't
Of
be
course he's
super
upset.
upset about it. I really if I'm Raffy, I mean, look at the promo that we did that he liked. It was literally talking about this exact situation a month ago. If Bregman came to be third base,
it was what I said.
Yeah.
You were like, "Oh, look, he liked it. That means he'll move off." And I was like, "I think he liked it to say fuck you." And that's
trust
exactly
me, I
what
was
that
my reading of it was incorrect. Like very clearly, he liked it to say fuck you. But my point being, he's been aware that this was a possibility all offseason.
There's a
So
difference between us saying it and them actually doing it. There's a huge difference.
Again,
When they said they would, they said they
this
would.
doesn't have to do with what we said. It's the point of the discussion. It's the fact that like this is a talking point, not just among us, but among fans, among Red Sox Nation. Players hear that. I'm sure he heard that. So it's not like when Cora went to Raffy on Friday. He's like, me being a DH, like, what are we talking about? Like, of course
I would
he
feel
could have
that
seen
way.
this coming.
You sat here and you raved about Alex Bregman being a Gold Glove second baseman. You've been talking out of both sides of your mouth for 3 months. That's what you have been doing. And you
if
talk
anything,
about
they're
Rafael
protecting-
Devers. No, you talk about Raffy
That's
or
the
Alex
opposite,
Cora as
though.
his players coach. You're not protecting him. You sprung it on him when he showed up and expected him to just take
Sprung it
and
on
if
him's
you're Rafael
crazy.
Devers, but no,
It's
if
crazy.
you're Rafael Devers, right, and you sit here and your manager, the guy who's supposed to have your back more than anyone, has sat here for 3 months saying, that's my third baseman, Bregman's going to play second base. All of a sudden, Cora gets his guy
he that
in, and now
definitive?
he's taking your position. He's
That's
taking
exactly how
third
he
base
said
from
it.
you. That's a crazy state of, things playing out that way when you said you would have that conversation with him beforehand. That's a wild way to go about it because you've known for 2 months it was Arenado or it was Bregman. It was one of the two.
I killed.
There wasn't
the
100%
Celtics.
chance that it was going to happen, though. This wasn't like 100% chance that Arenado
Right, but you
or
don't have to
Bregman
tell
was
them it's
coming.
100%.
No.
You can be like, hey, this is on our radar. We want you to be aware of this.
But
We don't want you to
still-
just hear it through the media. That's
It
bad.
has this. Doesn't it have the same impact? Like, regardless of
Nope.
having the conversation, I don't think it's that
No.
much different. I really don't.
It's a lack
Again,
of
Devers
it's
spoke.
all to scale. It's if you're going to have that convo and then you don't move him off third, he's not happy about that either.
Then there's
So
no
why?
problem. If he's going to be the third baseman moving forward, then that's what it is. But own how you feel about the infield defense, and you can explain it. It's not like you don't have a talking point. Look at the metrics, and you tell Raffy at the beginning of the offseason, we have to consider this. Look at your metrics. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Instead, they chose to double down, saying his defense improved all the way up to Fenway
Well, they
Fest,
shouldn't have done
where
that.
they were
Obviously,
still
they shouldn't
saying,
have done that.
we have never
that's
discussed. They said
we're
at Fenway
saying.
Fest, we have never discussed taking Rafael Devers off third base. That is bullshit. And they were lying publicly at the time when we talked about it. And they were also not handling it behind the scenes. It's one thing to bullshit publicly. It's another to bullshit your franchise player. That's crazy.
I killed the Celtics for how they handled the Marcus Smart trade. And people were all in my mentions. Oh, you can't tell a guy you might trade him. Happens literally every day across all 4 sports. Like, the fuck up with the straw.
I'm sorry.
All,
Jeez,
all
T.
day. People always are like, hey, this is a possibility. We don't want you to be blindsided by it. And when Devers spoke again through the translator, he said to at a certain effect, like it was more of a pride thing. Like I took them at their word.
Yep.
That's where he feels like he was lied to by them. Whether or not you think us saying it versus Cora saying it's different, it's obviously different to him. And Cora throwing Heim Bloom under the bus, to me, was the most insane thing that happened this weekend.
Why?
That was crazy. When Devers signed his extension, did they give Heim 1 iota of credit for that contract? Or did John
but
Henry literally helicopter in and be like, I did this, that fucking idiot pussy couldn't?
No, but I think when you're having conversations with the Red Sox, the money is the number one thing, but I'm sure he probably also said, like, if I sign this thing and I
Heim wasn't
forego
in
going
those
to free
rooms.
agency, then am I at least going to be a third baseman moving forward? And it's if they said yes, if it was Heim that said yes, well, Cora's sitting there saying, I didn't promise you third base for the next 6 years. Heim did, and he's not here anymore.
No, he
That's
promised him this
fine.
offseason
But
that he was going to be his third baseman.
And you knew, though, that there was a promise on the table at the time. That's another reason not to handle it the way you did, where you just throw it on him when he's at camp. He's been at camp since the middle of January, sitting there, working out. There was never a word. You did not have any communication. Instead, when he comes back from the DR after being with his daughter, this gets dropped on his head.
My biggest point here, because it's, again, if they go out of their way and it's like he's our third baseman, all that, like that's not great. But their clear approach was that if they sign Bregman or if they traded for Nolan Arenado, that's when they were going to have an adult conversation with Rafael Devers about potentially switching to DH. I don't hate
I still
that.
don't think they've done that.
They
I still
weren't
don't think they've
clear.
done
They
that.
said
I'm
Bregman
saying
was
they
a
did
second
that
baseman.
when the Bregman signing happened. I'm fine with that. I
don't think they did that.
If Bregman signed with the Cubs, Nolan Arenado was getting traded here immediately. where was he gonna play? Like,
that's
didn't you say
that's
that,
the conversation.
Raffy was okay with that? See, that's where I'm stuck on. Like, why was Raffy okay with that?
That's just what I heard. That's just what I heard. I heard that's why I wasn't worried about this situation, because I had heard that Raffy would have been okay moving off third for Nolan. So my thought process was, well, if he's okay with that, then why wouldn't he be okay with moving off third for Bregman? He
Bregman, his manager, call him a second baseman.
Yeah,
Bregman just won the Gold Glove at third base last year. So
it's cool.
It's not
then why didn't you say that the whole time? Say, hey, we believe this guy could play third base. Say it. If that's how you feel about it, say it.
Because the reasoning is pretty obvious. Like,
you protected Devers' ego over the offseason, but then stopped the minute you got to camp.
The Red Sox were not, if they didn't, like, for the whole winter, the Red Sox either hadn't made an offer or they had made Bregman the worst offer that he had. So at no point did it make sense to go to Raffy and say, hey, are you good with moving off third base for this player that we're probably not even going to end up with? That doesn't make any sense, because you're telling Devers, we don't believe in your defensive ability at third base. And then if you don't end up getting Nolan, because for a while, outside of Bregman, like, the Bregman sweepstakes wasn't looking like it was going to be the Red Sox. And then with Nolan, the Cardinals were playing hardball for a while. Like, they wanted, like, it was over money, and they wanted a good player in return. They obviously came down. So, the money wasn't an issue and the return wasn't an issue. But for a while there, both were an issue. So there was a world where you weren't ending up with either player, but you're going to tell Devers, we don't believe in you defensively. We're trying to replace you over there at third base. You're going to be a DH now. And then if you don't end up with either player, then you open up the season with Devers as your third baseman. Now you have to reconvince him, oh, no, we actually do believe in you defensively, even though nothing changed. So it made no sense. Like, I guess the one thing they could have done, which for all we know, they might have, the one thing they could have done is said, hey, we're exploring the options.
That's it. It's what you said you would do.
Improving at third base defensively. And if that happens, then, we have to have a conversation about you moving to first base, because at the time they were trying to trade Tristan Casas to the Mariners. Right. It's like, all right, you might place him first. You could be our DH, but we really need to improve the infield defense. And that means that you coming off your primary position. So could that conversation have taken place? Don't know. Like,
Raffy said it didn't.
He said that's exact. It made it clear as day.
He said it happened Friday on the field, and then they asked Cora about that, and he agreed that was the first time they had spoken about it. They both said it.
Sure. So
and Craig Breslow said
they at least should have floated that, hey, we're at least looking, but they know he's not stupid.
That's it.
Like, we know for a fact.
He wouldn't have liked that either. He wouldn't have liked that either.
Then go pout in the DR. It's better to go pout in the DR and then show up here and get over it instead of dropping it and then him pouting in front of everyone.
Let's be honest here. Like, let's say Raffy really feels like he was wronged here. I still would want someone in Rafael Devers' position to not handle it the way he handled it.
Of course, I agree.
Definitively be like, no, I'm not going to DH. Like,
100%.
The other thing that sucks is I fucking love Rafael Devers. So I hate that this is even going on in the first place, because he's our favorite player. And the fact that now you get Bregman and all of a sudden you have this added BS on top of it, it sucks. Yeah, big picture wise, it's probably going to boil over and it'll figure itself out. But I just wanted him to be able to handle it from a position of like, I've been here, I've seen the situation. He knows the BS that goes around here more than most, but they gave him the biggest contract in team history to be the worst third baseman in the game and to hit. That's it. And now you can do the thing that you're really good at and just hit. And you're saying, no, you don't want to do that. It's a little bit crazy.
When we talked last episode, I was the only one who wanted Bregman at third. The only one.
I still believe their best team is with Campbell.
I want Bregman at third. Wait, what? What are we talking about?
Yeah,
literally everyone. I listened back to it. Everyone wanted Bregman at second, except for me.
I don't know that I said that.
Well, you brought up Campbell. You said you don't have to start him. You can start him in left field. I said, I hate that. And everyone said, no, start the season with Bregman at second, Devers at third. Everyone said that except me.
Well, You've always been consistent on this since the Bregman rumors were going
before
on.
Any of this shit. Like I've for years now, I've been screaming, get Devers off third. Everyone told me you can't do it because of the contract.
Also, the Bregman second thing last show was because of the passing report, right? Wasn't that because he said he was going to play second base? I think we were reacting to that.
Cora said it like that. The whole team had been saying that the whole offseason.
No, I know, but like right after that, we were doing the show when that report broke. Sure, so we were only to believe that he was going to play.
If you had asked me point blank, like, what's the best defensive alignment? It's obviously Bregman at third. Yeah, but I think we were probably operating under the idea of Passan, minutes after the news broke that he was signing here, said he's going to be a second baseman. So it's like, all right, well, if he's playing second base, then, you can start the year with him at second base and Campbell can come up later on. But if they really believe in Campbell, which it sounds like the Red Sox do, like everyone here obviously believes in Campbell. But if the Red Sox are sitting there saying, I think we got a guy here, and, Passan's tweeting about it, and we talked to Bregman about it in his interview, and it's a universal opinion. I haven't heard a soul from any executives, players, former players, other minor leaguers, teammates, whoever, scouts, no one, reporters, no one is saying anything other than Christian Campbell is going to be a fucking dude. So if that's the case, then what are we waiting for? Have him fucking come up, start at second base, Bregman at third. Raffy's going to pout because I know he said it's actually my decision. No, it's not.
Oh,
it's the team's decision. Like that was not the right thing to say either. If we're going to come down on Tristan, there's things that he shouldn't have said. What Raffy should not, he can say, I'm a third baseman. He can say that. That's fine because you are. Like, we're not going to sit here and say, no, Raffy, you're a DH, because he's not. He is a third baseman. But what he should not have said is that it was his decision. It's not his decision.
But wasn't one of the main reasons we had the conversation about Bregman at second is because how it made the roster work? Like in all of this, Masataka Yoshida just got thrown out. Like essentially they said he's a fifth outfielder at this point in time. He is going to be on the bench making $18 million. One of the main points of why I wanted Bregman at second base was because it allowed Yoshida to be in that DH spot. He's still he's 10% to 12% above league average as a bat. He helps with your strikeout issue. He can factor in there, and you could still push Campbell to left field. If he competes and he makes you change the conversation about Bregman and Devers at third, cool, that opens it up. But why not ruffle Ceddanne Rafaela's feathers and have that as a competition with Duran possibly moving to center instead of making it so you piss off Rafael Devers and you essentially tell Yoshida, hey, we're basically done with you if Devers is cool playing DH.
If you're mad at the Casas comments, I know T isn't, but wouldn't putting Campbell in left be much more of an issue for Roman Anthony?
Well, I don't think no one's really talking about Roman making the team out of spring.
He should be.
Like,
Either way, he's
the only
coming.
guy.
Either
Yeah,
way,
he is, but like that's something
and
that
Anthony
is,
by the way. He came out and said he's trying to make the team, which he should be. I want both of them.
That should be the attitude, but like people are like everyone is talking about Campbell making the team out of spring. No one has really said that Roman Anthony's going to make the team out of spring. Kinda.
Say it. Own it.
Say what?
Christian Campbell on the opening day roster. Stuff. We have spring training to determine if he's ready to play the position.
That's my whole point. Instead, you have created this situation here when you could have let it play out the first couple weeks of spring training. If Campbell goes out there and rakes and forces the convo, great. What happens if Campbell goes out there and sucks the next month? He just has a rough spring. What is it then? We just go back to Devers at third base and Bregman at second?
No, Vaughn's hitting the piss out of the ball.
Vaughn could be there. Bregman at third.
You had time
to
play this better.
This in the most cowardly way possible.
Exactly.
I want them to just be straight. Like, they don't have to be straightforward with the media. I don't give a fuck about that.
Nope.
Behind closed doors, they're not handling things like adults at all. And when that reporter asked, is Ortiz going to have to step in, Cora noticeably changed his tone. He went in there.
He got pissed.
I didn't care. Happy. Like, Cora stepped in those first, 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, this is the biggest non-issue. And I still believe that way. This is the biggest non-issue of all time. And then someone asked, hey, does David Ortiz need to manage the team? And Cora was like, I'm going to kill you with my bare hands, which is the right answer to have.
But also, Ortiz has commented on this, and he said, that's Raffy Devers. Like, he's your franchise player and this and that. Like, you don't move him off his position, which I hate to disagree, but is that the best team? Is Raffy Devers at third base, Bregman at second base, and Campbell and Worcester? Is that the best team? Like, and Yoshida as your DH?
No, Campbell's in left field. And you're having your best offensive lineup. You're taking out a guy who was 21% below league average as a hitter last year. And you still have elite defense in center field.
I'll be honest. I think they would sit Willier in that world.
I wouldn't personally, because I think Willier Abreu is a better offensive and defensive player, and he was by far.
No doubt.
Defensively, he's a little unfair because Rafaela wasn't getting his time in center.
They seem locked in on 3 positions: shortstop, second, and center field. Like, they've come out and been like, Rafael is not this platoon player you guys have talked about. Those are like up the middle. They seem the most set on. And it's
First
two guys
base.
who have not earned it. They don't like Tristan. I think part of the reason Casas said that, if Devers moves, what does that mean for him? And then Vladdy doesn't hit his extension, and everyone's throwing a fucking parade like Vladdy's coming to Boston and Devers moving to DH. What's that mean for you, pretty boy? Like, yeah, of course he says that. The other part of the Casas comments that I really want like folks to think about. Imagine if he had said the opposite. How much worse that would have been. Imagine if he had said, yeah, I want all the young guys here. Figure out where to put Bregman. Not my issue. It's Campbell's bag. That would have been so much worse. That would have been substantially worse.
Yeah,
You're
but that's
throwing your
just not,
teammates
it's
under
not
the
a black
bus.
and white issue. Like he didn't have to say one or the other. He could have
He
said
could have
neither.
So
said
he backed the
nothing.
vets. He
He
backed
could
the
have just
veterans,
said,
which
"Hey,
is,
I'm not the fucking
But-
GM or the manager of this team. I'm focused on
but
having a
that
good
sounds
season
so
myself."
bad. That sounds so bad for the guy who was embroiled in trade rumors all offseason. If he's like, I don't know, ask those fucking idiots who keep trying to trade me. That you know how that gets spun.
Well,
in Boston.
that's not the tone that he had to say it in. Like he could have easily just said,
he
"I'm
can't
just
say
focused on
anything
having a good
without
season."
People
There's no-
picking
yeah,
apart
see-
everything he says.
There is always kind of a scale
No.
with Tristan Casas where he's not going to say the thing that you want him to say. He's never really
That's
said
fine.
the thing that you want him to say. But the thing that I couldn't get over with a lot of the reaction was, oh, what? Tristan can't have an opinion? It's like, all right, well, where's the line? Like, how far do you go? Because his tone, his delivery was genuine, like he's the manager of the team. It's like, no, Raffy's going to be at third. Bregman's going to be at second. I think he's going to be great there. Like, you're already looking towards like how it's going to work out. It's like, dude, we don't know what's going to happen.
That's what his manager told him. He repeated his manager.
That's it. And it's a
repeated the
symptom of a
manager.
problem of miscommunication throughout the offseason with
Which
the
is
Devers
fine.
situation.
That's
if you
fine.
handle this correctly, you do not have things like this playing out. Instead, you welcome that
That's
chaos,
not,
and here
I
you
don't,
are.
I don't agree with that. Like, you can handle it incorrectly, and then the players can still handle it correctly. Like,
In a
that doesn't
perfect
mean
world, yes. But not when you
everyone
have
needs
young
to
ball
handle
players
it wrong.
But
Like,
when you have
I
young
just-
ball players who speak, these are the things that open up. These are the problems. If you communicate clearly and you make your, what you see clear to the team, your vision, then they're going to be on the same page. They're not on the same page. And you have Tristan Casas defending a guy in Rafael Devers who he hangs out with off the field. We've seen him out to dinners with Brian Bello and gone and done his thing. If you had asked Raffy 4 years ago in that spot, should Xander have to move off a shortstop? Guess what he would have said? He would have said
what
the
would he
same
say?
exact thing.
What would you
Fuck
say,
would he
T?
say, T?
Huh?
What would you say, T?
Raph, he would go, Xander Bogarts in my shortstop. That's what he would have said. It would have
do
been
the
like that.
accent.
Yeah.
That was
I don't know. That's how
very
Raffy sounds.
insensitive.
I don't know what that was.
What would Xander say about asking Xander to move off short? Because he got asked plenty, and he
Yep.
said "fuck you" every time. Now
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have an extension. That was part of the reason why he said that.
Yeah.
But if Raffy learned everything, that was his vet. He learned everything from Xander. Xander never gave up shortstop until he signed with San Diego, and then he was like, "I don't give a fuck, dude."
Yeah. He's like, I'm
That's who
getting
needs to
280.
talk to him, not Ortiz.
Mhm.
I guess, but like he got his payday. I could completely
Yeah, so did
understand. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Is
Yeah.
Raffy got his money? If before he got extended, he said, "I'm not coming off third base," because think about the pecking order in not just the American League and all of baseball. It's Jose Ramirez, and then after that, it's probably Raffy Devers.
Correct.
So I'm staying at third base because when I get paid, whether it's from you or someone else, I'm going to get top dollar, and I get paid more if I'm a third baseman. Okay. Well, you got your money as a third baseman. So what does it really matter to you? Like it
Respect.
should be,
Or his
but it's
agent.
not even like a respect thing. It should be, I will do what's best for the team. Like whatever happened to that?
I think that is the right approach. And if you would approach it the correct way, I think you get to that end, which I think we're all going to get. We all think Devers in the next week, he will accept his fate and he'll understand what it is.
I think it's gonna be a week, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
2-3
it'll take a
weeks,
little more
however
time.
it plays out. You would have gotten to that point much quicker than seeing the raw reaction live as it's playing out in front of you right now.
Yeah.
That's
like
what you walked into.
remember Nick Pivetta? You're going to the bullpen. Actually, I'm a starter. I'm a starter. I'm going to be a starter. I'm going to be a starter next year. I'm a starter forever. And then he went to the bullpen.
But see, that's Nick Pivetta. That's a number 5 starter. With Rafael Devers, you're talking about your franchise player, the guy that
Sure.
you paid and put on this pedestal. And that's why
Sure,
for
yeah.
David
But
Ortiz's quote,
but it's a prideful,
Of course.
disgruntled, stubborn player
that's why
that
you handle it differently.
convinced to do what's best for the team.
Yeah,
And
they
to
acted
me-
afraid of him.
Exactly. And they sat there.
Afraid
their
of hurting his
agent in
feelings,
camp
and now his
screamed,
feelings are hurt anyway.
Of course. I'd
Right,
rather
that's
your
why it's dumb to wait.
Exactly.
They
Thank
would
you.
get hurt either way. They clearly didn't look
Right,
at that.
no doubt. No doubt.
I get
Just
that
get it
they-
out of the way.
It's always better to get the information out of the way early. I get that. But like, I still can't get off the fact that it's like Rafael Devers does not have ammo in this third base decision. Like, it's not only is it not his decision to make, but he's the worst third baseman since he has more errors than any position player in baseball since he made his debut. Like, what? So
this wasn't the take on Raffy at the end of the year, though. I do think the conversation on him is
crazy,
very interesting.
All offseason, we talked about wanting to get him off a third, did we not?
At the end of the season, everyone last year said, "Don't pay attention to the metrics." He was actually a lot better than those metrics were last year. He didn't have an error funk. Like
I don't remember saying that either.
That was the conversation.
It's not something that I leaned heavily into. The whole we need to get Raffy off third base because he signed the extension. So I think everyone was just looking around being like, well, he's our third baseman. Like, it is what it is. They gave him the money. He's going to be here. I don't think anyone looked around saying, oh, like Nolan Arenado is a possibility. Like Alex Bregman's like when we started the offseason, I don't think I was thinking Alex Bregman. I didn't know where he was going to go, but I certainly was locked on Juan Soto. And I don't think Alex Bregman was a thought in my mind because I didn't think that the Red Sox would entertain the idea of moving off Raffy. It was almost just like a marriage. I was married.
What did they say?
I was married to Rafael Devers, my third baseman. So I could make my comments about how, he's not a good defensive third baseman, but he's still my third baseman. And it is what it is. And that's just part of the Red Sox experience is, he's going to make the great plays. He's going to struggle on some of the routine plays and he's going to make some errors, but he's going to hit a lot of home runs. And that's our third base situation. That's just how I processed it. I never thought to entertain a secondary option because I didn't think the Red Sox would go that route. And they did.
Well also at the end of last season, there were so many. It's like, where do we start with this team? And obviously pitching was at the top of the list. And okay, we got Crochet. All right, we got Walker Buehler. And then I do think that's when a lot of the conversation shifted to, okay, what third base maybe now that we're improving and actually adding guys on, like maybe we improve the third base defense and go from there. But we've mentioned on this show a million times, Alex Cora constantly talking about we need to be better defensively. We need to be better defensively. The worst defensive player in that position is Rafael Devers. But no, I know, but I'm just saying, so like obviously uncomfy conversations were going to need to happen to get out of the rut they've been in recently. Could they maybe handled it a little differently? Sure. But the overarching thing that I think matters the most to me is that this is a necessary decision that the team wants to make and the player's going to have to deal with. And then they're going to be better because of it.
I just wish they were clear on that front from the start. And I think at the end of the day, when you look at why the defense was bad last year, it wasn't Rafael Devers in the infield. It was your shortstop. It was the fact that you had David Hamilton pretending to be a shortstop out there, costing you multiple games. That
Raffy's
shortstop and second base were bigger problems. Once Trevor Story came back, the infield stabilized.
But you're acting like Devers is good in the field by saying
I'm not
that.
acting like he's good in the field. I just don't think he was the main reason the defense went off.
No one said he was the main reason, but
he was shortstop and second
reason.
base.
He's contributed to it every season he's been on the team. I mean,
his career is like a negative 60 something defensive run saved. Like the only like infielder I can think that's worse than that is Derek Jeter.
Yeah, no one's telling you Rafael Devers
who also
is a great
didn't
defender.
move off his position.
Fair. But when we talked about what went wrong for the Red Sox defense in 2024 was you need a healthy Trevor Story and someone at second base who's consistent. That was it. You need to find stability at shortstop, especially. That was the conversation. It wasn't we need to get Devers off of third base immediately.
One thing that I saw people talking about that I really don't understand at all is that, I think Raffy's doing this because he thinks it'll improve his Hall of Fame chances. I'm like, well, if he stays at third base for 17 years, which is I think what his career would be at the end of this contract, and is terrible at defense at third base, that's not going to improve his Hall of Fame case. Also, I highly doubt that at 28 and the position that he's in, that's the first thing at the top of his mind. Like, how do I best get into the Hall? Like, I genuinely think Rafael Devers wants to win games, wants to be a big reason for winning games. And I think he's taking this a little bit too personally, the fact that they want to get him off of third base where he's played his whole career. Of course, the delivery and when they did it, I get that that's a big, and they told him he was going to, whatever. But the situation has changed. And the team's going to be better with him not at third base. It's as simple as that to me.
It's just crazy that wasn't the take a week ago. But also, like,
what do you mean?
I don't think he cares
I just don't
about
get this.
getting
What are you
off
talking about?
third. I was the only person all off. Even last year, I was like, get Matt Chapman. No one agreed. We weren't doing the show then, obviously, but I've been saying this for a while.
That
People didn't
Raffy
agree
liked
with me.
us saying that, Bregman should be at third and he should be at DH. That was a month and a half ago?
I bring this up.
We talked
quite
about
frequently.
But no, I'm just saying, like, this isn't. I'm not like shifting gears and saying like, oh, I wanted Raffy.
The whole
third.
fan base has shifted gears. The whole
but I've
fan
never
base
said this whole offseason. I'm not saying keep Raffy at third. I didn't say that once.
We asked where Bregman was going to play last week. You said second.
This was the passing report, Mick.
Yeah,
it was because we're coming off the passing report.
But everyone was okay with that idea.
Third, then?
Everyone was okay with him being at second. There wasn't, you need to get Devers off third base. Now the conversation has changed.
I don't think it's
shifted. No one here is saying trade him. Like,
not here, but I've seen it a lot.
That's
I was on at the Sports Hub for 3 hours.
Those people are fucking stupid. I got
that's the Red Sox
I got the tweet a million times. Like, do you think it's a good trade package if we do Raffy and Casas straight up for
jump off a bridge?
It's like, all right, so you want to trade what? 9 years of Devers and 4 years of Casas for 1 year of Vladdy. Yeah, let's do that. That's a great idea.
That is, I think, an underrated part of this. Bregman could leave next year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He could just be gone.
I know, but he said an important thing in that interview, by the way. Didn't he? He mentioned like, I want to find somewhere where I can, or like prove that I can be somewhere long term. I think he said in our interview.
He did it, but it didn't make it seem like it was necessarily only here.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's how I heard it. I wouldn't really say anything, but my immediate reaction was like, that's interesting. It's almost like using this as a tryout for a long term deal. That's kind of how I heard it.
Well, Jared's going to keep pointing out that he sucks everywhere but here and tank his value with other teams, so it's fine.
Right.
But I do think if you don't want to move him. Like, if you're moving him and then Bregman leaves, is he going to want to go back to third next year? Because we did that with Euclid and ended his career. Like, Devers is not as good as Euclid. I'm not trying to put him back at third once we get him off of it.
But we've been talking forever about needing to get him off of third eventually, and I think this has just kind of sped up the process. And then if he becomes comfy at DH, he's a DH, right? Like, you don't have to... Also, this like DH isn't. I think we view this as this like definitive. No, it's not like a be all end all. Like he can still play third base this year and DH. Like I don't think it has to be an everyday DH like Massa.
In their world for the Red Sox, if they go a year from now, they're probably hoping Christian Campbell's at second and Marcelo Myers at third or shortstop. However they handle Trevor's story. In that way, the logjam kind of figures itself out in a lot of ways. I think that's what they look as the worst case scenario if Bregman walks. It makes their life a little bit easier.
And this would get past the issue of moving it. It's like, all right, well, Meyer comes, then it's like you're already not playing third, so whatever.
Because they haven't committed to anything other than Rafaela, that's his center field. They've kind of unintentionally said every position's up for grabs by doing this. Like they're going to play the best 9. That's how I've heard it. And that means a lot of guys who aren't the best 9 are going to make the opening day roster.
Say Trevor's story. Say the name.
I've been pushing the Roman Anthony needs to start out. Jared just said no one's saying that. Like I've been screaming that. Like Roman Anthony needs to be the opening day left.
He should have every opportunity.
Talking outside of these walls.
No deal. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm screaming like Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell need to be in the opening day lineup. That's non-negotiable to me.
That's part of the problem with your logjam.
How do you make that work?
What do you mean?
Like, if both those guys make the team, then how are you making it fit?
Devers my DH and Duran's in center.
See that, like, out of all this, that's the one part that I don't know how they landed on just being like, Ceddanne Rafaela is my starting center fielder. Like, how did that guy get the nod before all these other pieces that are super important?
And Campbell. Campbell too. Like I'm the biggest Christian Campbell guy there is. I don't know why they're guaranteeing him second now. That feels insane.
I don't know if they are, right?
Played it out
depending on what
3 or 4
does this
weeks
spring.
and stopped so much of this drama right at the start of camp.
I don't even know that I like using the word drama because I'm just so excited that the Red Sox are relevant. And I know it's not the best barometer, but just getting in my car earlier to go get lunch and they're talking about the Sox. And then we went to dinner too, turn on the radio. Oh, they're talking Red Sox. That never happens. Never. Like it's been a long goddamn time since I could just drop into sports radio and hear a Red Sox discussion happening. And it's something that like I'm interested in. Like it's not like, this is not even worth it's not them making fun of the Red Sox.
It's like a real topic.
That would be the only time that like the Red Sox would pop up on sports radio as if like they were mocking John Henry or, calling out ownership for being cheap. But now it's like, oh, we're having actual Red Sox discourse taking place on sports radio, and callers, people are calling in. People want to like talk about the Red Sox again. Like it's, call it drama, call it controversy, but I call it relevancy.
For that, it's been years. For that specific like tone, that specific situation where it's like we're having Red Sox discussions we disagree on, and it's about like leading towards the playoffs potentially, or like what's going to make the team better. Hopefully they're going to have a great season because of this. They led PTI with the Devers thing. I was like, this is crazy. This is actually like leading Sports Center, and that one part in the interruption was like, this is on PTI at the top of the list there of their topics.
It was an off week for the rest of the sports too.
100%. Yeah. No, I get that. And the NBA is not playing. I get it. But still, the fact that like this is a relevant topic nationwide and not just within our circles, I think says a lot for what's going on with this team. Of course, I remember last week saying like, can't wait for the spring training topics. I didn't think it was going to be a shit show this out of the gate. But
that is possible.
At least it's something.
I thought what Cora said today, talking about Casas being like, we don't tell our guys what to say. Like, I didn't think he like fully backed him. Like, keep talking,
Kurt
Tristan.
Schilling comp?
He didn't. Comparing to Kurt Schilling, not ideal.
It's like, like I've had guys that I play with, like Kurt Schilling.
Anyone else?
Say the worst stuff ever.
Every team's got their Schilling, right? That's just who Tristan is.
You saw how hard the Boston media is working, and this is something these players, and I hope Bregman can kind of talk to them and get them all on the same page. The media is out for blood right now because the Red Sox are interesting. They know they're going to be a good and relevant team. So those players, they need to be prepared because those softball questions, and no disrespect to the beat, but it hasn't been this kind of intensity in a couple years now. They need to be ready because at the end of Cora's press conference, whoever dropped in that line it was a real question. Did Tristan Casas apply to be the CBO of the Red Sox? Cora goes, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to stop. Like, you see people digging. People are looking for that moment.
I had, it was the very last thing. I had to put my phone up to my ear. I rewound twice because I saw Cora's reaction and I was like, what the fuck did he just ask? And so like they're trying to stir some stuff up, no doubt. And I think I didn't like Raffy getting asked. Cole?
No, you can finish because I think I'm going to say the opposite of what you're about to say.
I didn't like that Raffy got asked about his weight. I didn't like that. I believe it was Shaughnessy tried to bring up 2017 to Bregman, and then you had Aroldis Chapman sitting there, and all the reporters were just like, so you throw really hard.
Sean McAdam was like, look at how this guy's battled back from adversity.
Like, not a word about his character or nothing. It's like you be like, hey, what's up, fat ass to Devers. You're like, hey, remember that thing that you already spoke about and apologized for and paid your dues for 9 years ago? Like, they do that to Bregman, and then Chapman's just sitting there.
And they're Cincinnati Red, you love him.
So you throw like 100? That's crazy. Like, what is it like to just throw so hard and like the ball just goes fast?
When it comes out of your hand, that's got to be fun,
crazy.
Right?
Triple digits, huh? Wow, that's
long
insane.
Sleeves, huh?
The entire interview is just about how hard he threw, and not one person sitting there asked him about his. And I'm not even saying that, like, to me, I don't think Chapman needs to be asked about the domestic violence thing. It's almost been 10 years.
It's been a while.
So, like, I don't think that he needs to be asked about that. I don't think Bregman needs to be asked about 2017 in 2025. And, like, why are you asking Devers what his weight is? But if you're gonna like be the big dogs and come after guys, then keep that same energy with everyone.
I was confused at why there were so many people on the Twitter machine being like, what is the media doing asking, Tristan Casas his thoughts on this? That's exactly what they're going to do. Like, Tristan Casas gives them gold. Are you kidding me? That's honestly not even digging. That's like the most relevant Red Sox story. And they're like, hey, your thoughts on that? Like, that's not even that bad of a question to ask. It's more that there's still one other thing I want to mention on Casas is that, you can tell when he's answering the question, he takes like 2 to 3 seconds to think, like, am I about to do this? Like, am I about to say this? And this is the thing that concerns me a little bit with Tristan Casas, because we've talked about I'm a Tristan Casas guy. T, obviously you love him. But to me, I'm not like 100% a Tristan Casas guy. Like, there's little things I'd want to tweak about him. And this is probably one of them where he's kind of got that F it, I'm going to say it mentality. And that happened with these quotes. And I just kind of wish he didn't. But of course, they're going to ask him that question. It's the biggest thing that's going on in camp.
I had texted Jared as the press conference is going on. I think I wrote something. I was like, Tristan Casas just fucked himself. I said something because you knew the minute with that response, you got to know how it's going to play. And that's why I think the intentions were good, especially on the Devers part. I think he was trying to back his guy. And I think it's a product of miscommunication from his bosses. But you got to know how it's going to play and how it's going to blow up in the media. And in that point where you had a fire that was starting to die down the day before, you reignited it and you gave it more ammunition. I prefer if you did not do that. The prospect stuff, as I said, I don't care.
I think he did that because they tried to trade him all off season.
It's a fair take. It's a fair conversation to look at.
Fuck faces. Yeah, I think it's.
I haven't even looked at it like that. Like, he can't answer however the hell he wants because they traded him 30 times. So it's like,
correct.
I get it. I don't know if he's thinking like that. I do
He's
think
not.
I do think it might have had to do a little bit with the Devers first base and the Vladdy. Like, they might have more percentage of that than the latter.
It was very funny.
I don't think he's thinking that at all, to be honest.
Devers the first, he might be thinking that a little bit. He might be thinking that a little bit. Trying to like oversay. He's saying he's improving at third every year. Like, what are we talking about?
I think that's
in the league.
That was the most egregiously wrong thing that he said.
He was trying to back his guy. I think another part of this, though, is the way they sat here and handled things with Devers. I think in an ideal world, or maybe where the Red Sox were going, he would be at first base. Now, Devers said he also would not play first base, but I thought they were sitting there saying, hey, listen, we were trying to move Tristan Casas. The initial goal was to get you over there, and we just weren't able to get a deal done. We couldn't figure something out. I think that factors into the bullshit way they handled it over the offseason.
The best part of all that was just Devers, like, the way that he looked over and it's like, what the fuck did he just ask me? Like, it wasn't even, he was baffled, blown away.
Raffy started high stepping with the answering for himself. And then I think it may have been Catillo asked, like, do you want a trade then? Which I think was like with the way it was building, someone had to ask.
It was
that.
fair.
I thought that was completely fair. And it kind of like shook everyone because Devers was like, no, once he got it trans, because he was like, the fuck did he just say to me? Do I want to trade? And he's like, yeah, trade. And like, I think he was so taken aback. Like, you're right. I'm wiling a little bit. Like, I do think that brought him back down to earth a little bit. Like, I don't know, trade. Like, let's not get crazy here, but I'm not pumped. I want everyone to know I'm not pumped. And I think it has less to do with the position than the way the Red Sox handled it. I genuinely do.
Couldn't agree more.
There was an element of Raffy's answers where he almost seemed surprised the questions were coming, which I was a little stunned by, because like his tone was like, no, I played third. Like why are you asking me about going to DH? It's like, because you just had the conversation and, Bregman's here now. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I don't think Catillo's in the wrong at all to ask that question. I've seen him almost like defending himself. I'm like, Catillo, like we'll get on you for plenty. I still hate that you tweet out that writer seminar thing. But yeah, I'd be more upset about the writer seminar tweets.
They were killing for asking him about like a trade.
They were. He was getting roasted. Yeah,
I guess. But I mean, at the end of the day, a trade's not happening. Like, they're not trading Raffy Devers.
They can't afford to.
I can't remember who made the point earlier, but it's like Bregman signed a 3-year deal with opt-outs after every year. Like, it could be a 1-year deal. And then what? Then you have fucking no Devers, no Bregman next year? Like, the fuck are you doing? They're not trading Rafael Devers. I think it's going to be really interesting, and this is a totally separate conversation. We can, dip our toes in now. We can save it for later. But Vladdy Jr. not getting the extension done with the Blue Jays, and immediately you've got Heyman saying, here's the top 3 most likely destinations for Vladdy, and Red Sox for number 1. And then Bob Nightingale tweets, yeah, Vladdy wants to play for the Red Sox. So maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. I don't know what happens in that scenario, because a lot hinges on the season that Casas is about to have. I think, with the whole Netflix thing, I think he'll get some fan support out of it. But what if he's so quirky that you've got other teams looking at it being like, I don't know if we want that over here. And so I don't know. It's going to be interesting how that all plays out and how they make all the pieces fit. And Is Bregman going to opt in? And do they trade Casas? Do they keep Casas? Do they sign Vladdy? Do they not even? I don't know. It's all very interesting to me.
I thought
Coley?
I know when in the past I've brought up Vladdy, Steve said he couldn't envision it. Now that Bregman has signed, now that they've actually signed a free agent, has your mind state changed towards that at all? That's crazy.
What's going on, Steve?
No, I've been fighting this whole show with AirPods dying, internet going out. But sorry, what did you say, Coley?
Your minds since I brought it up a lot this offseason, signing Vladdy. I didn't want to give Bregman a long-term deal because I thought it would block Vladdy. You had said at those points you didn't see a world where the Red Sox would even be in those conversations. Now that they've signed Bregman and proved they can put some money on the table, has your mind changed?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I know the biggest thing. It wasn't that I doubted the concept or the idea.
No, I don't think you did.
Yeah, of what it represented. It was more just like, okay, like I'm gonna have to see it. And still, I mean, this could end up being a 1-year deal with Alex Bregman. So it's like, okay,
sure.
Like he gave him $40 million a season. I understand that's something you've never done before, and he's top 5, average annual value and all that. But no, the willingness to do something bold like this. And to commit, like you've said last episode, Coley, of like, this is your World Series window. Who the hell better to add to a World Series window than Vladdy Jr., especially if these reports are true that he wants to play here, which I would understand. And a guy that doesn't like the Yankees. I mean, come on. Like the
I think him and Bregman, him and Bregman joining the team to hate the Yankees together would be awesome. Incredible.
And he's got to be like, he's tight with Raffy, right? He's got to be.
Yes.
So it checks a bunch of boxes. Yeah, no, them signing Bregman changes my expectations of what the Vladdy thing could be. And realistically, and I think I said this on a couple weeks ago, they were not going to sign an extension before the season. I don't know what the numbers actually ended up being, but there was no scenario where Vladdy wasn't going to hit free agency. And I do love that he just gave that single answer of no, too. Like the biggest words this week were just 2 no's. Like, no.
But there was a moment in that presser that I do think is important. He said if the Blue Jays came with a realistic offer, he'd be willing to listen again. So the fact that that's hanging out there, if they want to, sack up one more time and put it out there, do I believe in Ross Atkins to do so? No. But it is interesting that that's left on the table depending on how their season goes.
What doesn't make any sense to me, the Blue Jays have been trying to sign like everyone on this show to a $500 million deal. Like they'll sign anyone. This is the guy they were short with. I think they absolutely met his number and he just kept adding 50 million to it until they were like, all right, obviously you don't want to be here. Like there's no world the Blue, because it was reported Jared, he stopped at like 340. That was the final lot. There's no fucking world where that's true.
So
David Ortiz dropped 13 years, 568 yesterday.
Ortiz.
I don't even know if this is true or not. I don't know. Let's just say hypothetically, it was 13 years, 585, and the Jays were at 13 years, 480. What?
So that David Ortiz number is real.
Let's just say hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically, T.
Yeah, this is all hypothetical. I'm just guessing.
I don't think he's going to get anywhere really close to that on the open market.
No, I don't think so either. That's a lot of fucking money for. I mean, he is a Gold Glover, but he's not doing it he's not doing both Gold Glove, Silver Slugger consistently every year like Soto was.
It's also his Gold Glove is fake. He's been one of the worst defenders at first base the last 2 seasons of baseball.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone's
Soto is a trash defender too, and he was a finalist. So yeah,
exactly.
Gold Glove's not the best unit of measurement, but
this doesn't help the third base convo, by the way.
Why? Because Bregman won a Gold Glove?
Yeah, people have only been pointing to that. I know he's a better defender at third, no doubt.
Yeah.
All I've heard is he's got the Gold Glove. Like that doesn't mean shit.
Well, I mean,
just point him being better. Like it's not that
he's
hard.
better.
You don't have to.
He's better.
Yeah. I'm not saying you. I'm saying everyone else is like, oh, he's a Gold Glover. So Jeter's got like 9.
I don't know where Vladdy's going to go because if I mentioned how the Red Sox were number 1, then it was the Mets. So if Alonso opts in, then it's like you've got Vientos, you've got Alonso.
Even if he doesn't, I don't.
You still see the Mets as a threat or no?
They're a threat relatively, but I really do think they want to let Stearns cook, and Stearns would never have signed Soto to that deal.
No,
I don't think Cohen's going to overreach for Vladdy too. Like, I don't think he's going to be like, this isn't your call. This is my call. Yeah. I think he needed Soto. I don't think he needs Vladdy, whether or not Pete opts in or not. Because even if he opts in, I don't think he cares. He'll trade him with prospects to sign somebody.
I mean, Soto's
shown a lot of restraint.
Soto did talk about the importance of playing with other Latin players, though. And it's like, yeah, like there's other guys that are here, but I'm here until 2096. So like I need other Latin players that are going to be here for a long time. Like the next 3 years, cool. But then I'm still doing a 12-year bid after that. So I don't know. I'm not sleeping on the Mets' chances. I mean, the Yankees being the number three odds to that's just a joke to me.
He'll retire.
Yeah, he would never. But
it's, I guess, like with big free agents, because even people think Kyle Tucker's going to get a bunch. I don't think either of them are going to approach Shohei and Soto numbers. Like, I don't think either of them gets 5.
No, 450 for Tucker.
Contracts are going to sit there for a little while. It looks like, especially with some of the free agents that are coming up here. I mean, if Vladdy wants that kind of money, that's the 3rd biggest contract ever, right? Can we
do another offseason of the Red Sox being linked to the top free agent right-handed bat that goes all the way until mid-February? Because that's probably what's going to happen with Vladdy.
Well, depending on what happens this year, fine. Like if the Sox actually make a deep playoff run, yeah, whatever. We can spend an offseason trying to add to that. I'm fine with it. But if they miss the playoffs again and it's like, all right, here we go. We're doing this whole process again. It's a different feeling.
But there's only a finite number of teams that are even going to play in those numbers too. And I don't think the Dodgers are going to be in because they're still paying Freeman, and they must have run out of roster spots by now.
Yeah, they don't have spots
left. They have to.
He's going to play.
He simply must have.
Catch for us? Like, what's left at this point?
With Guerrero, if it's not his 2021 season or his 2024 season, if it looks like any of the other years of his career, and Tristan Casas just meets expectations. Let's say he doesn't go nuts. He just meets expectations. He's a better player than he was his rookie year. For the Red Sox front office, I think that's going to be a hard justification to put $350 to $400 million on the table when they have a guy cost controlled for 4 seasons.
One
similar production
is meets expectations varies from person to person for Tristan Casas. So like, what
I'm
does
just
that
saying,
look like?
Let's call it 30 home runs and a 135 OPS plus, which would be better. RBIs? That would be better than Guerrero's 22 season and 2023 season.
It'd be better than Casas' last season too.
Exactly. Well, we're saying he's going to level up.
We don't know that.
We've floated this. If you feel very confident you're going to get Vladdy and Tristan has a really good season, that's a perfect place to be. I think that's exactly where you want to live. Try to get what you can for Tristan. There's a chance. The more we see this Netflix thing, the more that Tristan's willing and comfy, being as open and honest as he was in that presser. There's going to be even more people in the Red Sox organization that want him out of here. Whether that's right or wrong,
so fast,
fine. But that's just going to be the case.
Well, I don't have a problem with what he said. I think what he said was the closest you can get to a trade demand without saying the words. That's my immediate reaction was like, man, he really wants to get the fuck out of here if he's just letting it fly. Yeah, I love Tristan. Vladdy's Vladdy. Like I've said it multiple times. I can't live a whole lifetime with none of the Guerreros on the Red Sox. Can't do it. Won't do it.
I need a 2021 or a 2024 season if he's getting that contract.
I think. Need to do it. What are his numbers at Fenway? Because Bregman,
they're off his 1054 OPS. I mean,
he's going to get 10 years. He's going to get 10 or 11 years through the end of his career. It's not going to be 3 years with an opt out after each one.
Completely fine with it. Talk about money too. Like. If Bregman plays out these 3 years, him, Story, and Yoshida all come off the books simultaneously. That ignores Bueller, and it also ignores Giolito. They've got a lot of money coming off the books these next couple of years. Vladdy, they can add and not
give out 1 year deals.
No doubt, but Vladdy
thing is money coming off.
Vladdy hits free agency as money's coming off the books, and the young guys are all coming up. Like there's really no excuse, Casas or no Casas, to not sign him.
Wait, who comes off the books?
Next offseason specifically, I know T wants Story to opt out. That's obviously not happening.
He's not opting out.
No, but Giolito and Bueller are off the books next year, and potentially Bregman. So you're talking about $80 million if the 3 of them opt out. I don't think Bregman will, but so that would be 40 if those 2 opt out. That's Vladdy right there.
Yeah, boom.
Okay, boom.
Where would you play him? So in this scenario, you're just flipping Casas Coley and you're playing first base Vladdy, Devers a DH, and then third base is Meyer, per se.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. I've got Vladdy and Devers in the middle of my lineup. I know it's not going to happen. If that, I think right now, if Devers had anyone else to talk to, because even we just talked to Bregman. Who are the guys he's hanging out with? It's Duran. It's Story. It's not like we lack Dominicans in a way I don't feel comfortable in the lineup.
Yeah, a lot of Devers and Chapman time hanging out. I've heard Cora mention
Who
them
else are you
multiple
gonna talk
times.
to?
I'm just like, he is looking for someone to talk to.
Get Vladdy tomorrow. Just to calm down. If Vladdy was acquired tomorrow, Devers would be like, put me in center. I don't care where you fucking play.
Yeah,
I'm
play
thrilled.
anywhere, dude.
And I think we'd all be thrilled because our 2-3-4 would be Bregman, Devers, or however you want to do it, and Vladdy. Like, come on, this is simple.
Yeah, I just, for everyone that's like, well, why don't they just trade for Vladdy now? It's like the Jays are trying to win.
Correct.
They spent money, Scherzer, Santander, like they
Jimenez, they traded for.
Yeah, like they try to shore up the defense.
That Miles Straw contract money they took on, embarrassing themselves.
They are trying to win this year. It's the last year of Bo. It's the last year of Vladdy. But I mean, Jay Hay said it this morning on BID. He's picking the Jays to finish last. So I guess you could trade for him at the deadline. I don't know why you would do that or how you would do that unless they pulled off some blockbuster that involved Casas, and that would be shocking if they traded for Vladdy. Like, I just don't know that would make a ton of sense. Yeah,
they
I
need
don't
an
know
extension in place to move Casas.
Well, they'd also ask for a ton because they know they're not getting them back. So that wouldn't be worth the only guaranteed 1 year. Wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree. But that's why I would do it for the full year because I'm pretty confident in him wanting to be here.
So he's going to go to the Mariners and then sign as a free agent with the Red Sox for $400-something million.
Yes, you don't even need the trade for we feel pretty confident in Tristan, right? We all feel confident in the season he could have this year. It's not like you need Vladdy for what that's going to cost versus maybe getting him next offseason.
I just more think if you want to shut the Devers shit down today, go get him today. I think he would get his immediately DH. Yeah, I think he would be. Because the one part too that Devers did talk about, he said he talked with Bregman and he said he's happy the team finally went out and signed somebody, which was his complaint last year. Last year, he didn't have exactly like a friendly press conference to start the year. He was like, "Fuck these idiots who just want me to die in my prime." That's what he said last year. These were much better comments.
Yeah.
He's improving each spring. I did my favorite thing real quick with Vladdy. I love the 162 game pace. It makes zero sense because they don't play all the home games for an entire season. But 63 doubles, 35 homers, 155 RBIs. That's based off his career stats at Fenway. So yeah, I think he'd be pretty good here.
Who,
Vladdy?
Manny. Vladdy, yeah. They come here
Manny.
in April and June, by the way. Throw them meatballs. I agree. I think the Jays could be a last place team in this division.
Yeah,
they are projected for 78 wins. I don't know if that's going to happen. If the Sox have leads, just give them some meatballs. Let's have them have, even add to those stats, add even more to those Fenway stats.
Yeah. I can't even think about it because I've never been happier than when there were a bunch of Dominicans on the Red Sox.
I know. The flags you would get for your car.
Oh, my car, the front of my house. I would put a Dominican flag on my front lawn. See?
Dominican flag tattoo?
Yeah.
Is that acquiring Vladdy or signing him to a multi-year deal?
If they signed him to a contract long term,
Tattoo.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I would do like a Dominican flag like on my leg or something.
Feels like a good spot for it.
Yeah, because all my chest and my arms are all like black and gray. So then, like, I have color on my leg, so I can add a Dominican flag with color.
What's going on with your back? What's up with your back?
I got nothing.
That could be a whole flag. That's a lot.
I could do a whole. If I had a tattoo that looked like a Dominican flag was like across my back,
draped, hanging.
When Bello came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when he had the flag on his back.
Yeah.
I think you do a Mount Rushmore. It's Ortiz, Manny, Pedro, Vladdy, Devers, the big five. Classic Mount Rushmore.
Classic Mount Rushmore.
You meant Pedro Siriaco, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he Dominican?
Yep.
Safe to assume.
Beltray.
I did look it up before seeing. But.
Yeah. Have you guys tried Via yet?
Oh, buddy.
I have.
I was talking to Jay Hay this morning. We were comparing notes, and it's been helping us go to sleep. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it does.
You got problems sleeping? You don't anymore. That's not the only thing that you can take Via for, but that's something that I think we can all relate to, a little sleeping issue. But let's be real. 2025 has been all about change, whether it's work, personal stuff, or just the daily grind. It can be really hard to keep up, but here's the deal. When things get hectic, we don't have to go through it alone. Embrace the power of nature and elevate your everyday with Via. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers, Via is the Swiss Army knife of wellness, dedicated to harnessing the natural benefits of hemp to create high-quality wellness products. Whether you're looking to improve your sleep, focus, recovery, add a little pep to your step, or just get high, Via has something for you. With products ranging from 0 to 100 milligrams of THC, Via gives you the power to blaze your own trail. I see what you did there, Via. Via is renowned for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies and vapes, THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops, all crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part, Via legally ships to nearly all states in the U.S. in discreet packaging directly to your front door with a worry-free guarantee. No medical card is required. So if you're 21 plus, check out our link to Via's website in our description and use the promo code Section10, and that'll get you 15% off. And if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice. Again, anything that they have that helps with sleep, I can tell you it's done wonders for me. It's done wonders for Jay Hay, who's given off his seal of approval for the product. Just give it a shot. Give it a shot. There's you got nothing to lose, and you have a lot to gain with Via. And if you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description. Use the promo code Section10 to receive 50% off. And if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show, Section 10, and tell them that we sent you. Enhance your everyday with Via. What else?
I love that the whole team's pro Yoshida.
Yeah, they love the guy. I
I
feel
need
like
that shirt. I love that shirt. What is it?
Shirt's great.
What is it? Yoshida family or something?
All shirts look good on Durant. That's not a fair.
No, I know the dude's a freaking model for shirts. He's just a shirt, and he always wears the Story one. And I'm like, wow, Trevor Story's never looked that good. He's on the Durant shirt. There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Where is he
But
going to play?
He's not.
That's it. Like, seriously, there's no room with their current plan. Even if they want to get him time in left field, if Raphael is playing every day, Durant's playing every day, and Abreu, even if you want to platoon him, it makes more sense to use it with a Rob Refsnyder than Yoshida. It's not a sensible platoon partner.
Masa just seems like a great dude. We love him here for his personality. Good hitter, but he just doesn't fit. And I love the fact that, you know, the Red Sox aren't alienating the guy. Because if you are on that roster, you've got to be looking at it by being like, he's got to be the odd man out. Like, clearly he's the odd man out, but they're not making him feel like he's the odd man out. And that's just being good human beings. So respect to the Red Sox for still including the guy who, it must be hard enough as it is coming over from Japan. You can't speak the language fluently, and you don't have like a soul in the world looking out for you.
You're on your second translator.
Yeah. Seriously.
And it's like, but I just love how they've kind of put their arm around him to be like, you know, even though your situation is fucking awful right now, you're still one of the boys. So,
and
that
the
stuff
situation,
is cool.
The situation that he's in happens to people that suck. Like, he doesn't suck.
Right.
Yoshida is like a solid hitter. Understandable, he's had some streaks here and there, but he's not a bad player.
No.
And the way that he's handling this, especially with the media, you see him there. He's still got a smile on his face. He's still answering the questions very politely. He's like the most polite dude ever with the media. And you see the answers he's given through the translator. It's like, yeah, this guy's, you could not handle it any better than how he's handled it. But I don't know where he plays. I don't know how he, cracks into this roster. And even if it's occasionally somehow, that sucks too. And we've seen how that's impacted him when he doesn't get consistent at bats. So all the situations are bad.
If you're going to have him in this spot, either attach a prospect and get him off the roster or just DFA him. Keeping him as a guy who's playing once a week or something like that, there's just no use in it. At that point, you're better off just clearing the roster spot and taking the L. Which you shouldn't do. Yoshida's too good of a player to simply just DFA. And that's why I get frustrated with the way they're handling the Bregman Endeavors thing.
Super frustrated.
There is a way for him to be the DH of this team, at least on a platoon basis. At least you're getting more out of it than just saying, it is what it is. You're the fifth outfielder.
It is a weird situation where like a DFA is not crazy, but then he's also like definitely going to help another team. So it's just an odd position to be in, but this is kind of where they're at this point.
I wouldn't be shocked if the way they keep talking about his shoulder and throwing, if Cora goes, well, hey, we wanted him to play the outfield and he can't play the outfield. So guess what? We're going to put him on the IL to start the year and buy themselves another 2 weeks.
Absolutely what's happening.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Cora was like, because I think there were Japanese reporters there that are just there to cover Yoshida. So they were asking all kinds of questions about, his progression. And Cora's just like, yeah, he's just not there yet. Like he can hit, swing looks good, but can't throw the baseball. And it's like, well, when has that ever mattered?
Last year they would have been thrilled.
He still can't throw that thing. Where are we going to put him?
He's crushing the ball in the cage, but he can't throw it. So
he's playing catch behind him, like he's lacing the ball.
He's just throwing seeds right in the background. Like, nah.
He's pitching.
I don't know.
He's on the bump.
It's a lighter ball. It's not the regulation ball.
Is that say 98? Damn.
Put Yoshi in the pen. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
That'd be the funniest outcome. He's our best closer.
Yeah. It's crazy.
She is the Red Sox closer. I'd love seeing that.
The sprint from the bullpen to the mound would be absolutely electric,
pants
man.
all the way up to the nips.
Just choking him.
I wish that he was just like a sick defender, because he would be such a fan favorite. I mean, he is a fan favorite in a way, but if he was out there just, even if he was like 5 defensive runs saved, he would be such a star here in Boston. But
that's how you know they don't hate Devers' defense that much, because if Yoshida even looked at the field, they sent him to Worcester for a few weeks last year.
Yeah. Adam Ottavino's back.
Yeah, he is. Double O.
I love that.
I mean, I was looking at the Savant page, T. Pretty good.
Impressive. 86th percentile K percentage, 88th percentile average exit velo, 84th percentile expected ERA. For a minor league, deal and with the invite and whatever, that's great.
He's going to make the team. I'm telling you.
Field goal is good. He's making this team.
Dude, the FIP was 367 last year. Like, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, dude.
Take a look at that.
Dude, I'm with you, dude.
Garrett Whitlock talked about him being a mentor.
Yeah.
Not the craziest thing. The double zeros, what a great choice after Walker Buehler took the single zero.
I was like, that's kind of nuts.
Hey.
I was just like, is that the fucking first time that anyone's ever worn double zero for the Red Sox? And it was.
100%
it was.
And then they have a guy on the team that's also wearing 0. So it's like there's like 3 zeros on the team.
Oh, yeah. You never see shit like that. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped that we're gonna have 3 zeros on the team. I mean, they needed a right-handed reliever. And he's got experience. He's pitched in Boston before.
Northeastern guy.
Yep, Northeastern
hates
guy.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, hates Babe Ruth. What is he? Is he 38?
And Shohei Ohtani.
He's 39?
Yes.
40, right? Yeah.
He was old when we got him the first time.
Wow. It's almost like he's been gone for 2 years and he aged 7 years while he was gone. I just did not believe that he was pushing 40, but yeah,
the
good
Yankees gave up on him. That's why we got him.
The Yankees traded him to us and said, this was what, in 2021? Because that was the year that, we ended up knocking the Yankees out of the playoffs and they traded us Adam Ottavino, who was very good for them. And they're like, well, the Red Sox are not the Red Sox. Yeah, sure. Take this guy.
Frank German, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who the fuck did we give up in that deal?
It's nothing, wasn't it?
Cash considerations.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
no,
we just
wait,
bought
hold
him.
on.
Wow.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
They were trying to shed money.
Yeah.
Yep. Player to be named later or cash considerations. I'm pretty sure there was never a player added.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's not something that you're going to do a backflip for, but I it's a nice little ad because the Savant page, a lot of red.
You could
know
do
what I'm saying?
worse.
You know what
He
I'm saying?
joins the group of Brian Mata fighting for that last bullpen spot, Wyatt Mills coming back from Tommy John surgery, Josh Minkowski attempting to prove he's a big league pitcher, Greg
Mhm.
Weissert. Let him fight. Austin Adams on the minor league deal.
Let him duke it out, dude. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, brother.
saying? Yes, sir. Let him fight.
We're gonna let them fight for it.
Yeah, fight.
It's like we do a show
Never
with a
100
cartoon
racks.
bear. Like he's just
awful
Yabba
catchphrases.
dabba doo, fight it out.
Yeah, but I do want to Vito 00 fight it out. Hey, here we go.
Mhm, Yep.
100
Yep.
rocks.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. You feel good, T?
I feel alive. Yeah. Welcome to the Red Sox, Trace Thompson, Klay Thompson's brother.
that was wild. It was a wild edition.
I was shocked at how unimpressive last season he was at AAA, but you go back to
Not to crap
2022.
on the guy.
He hit 23 homers, but he was still a below league average bat. You almost got to try to do that at AAA.
Yeah.
But hey, 2022, 138
Hey.
OPS plus.
Hey.
Figure it out.
That's good. That's good.
Well,
Tyler.
I'm not worried about Brian Bello. I think he's fine. He's back to throwing. The Cutter Crawford thing feels like kind of worrisome the way they're talking about it. We're
The
like,
knee?
yeah, they're like surgery could be a thing here. Like it's on the table. We haven't ruled it out, but we're really not sure.
Didn't
He's just
he say
behind.
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that feels like one of those things where in like 2 weeks we get a notification. Cutter Crawford's undergoing knee surgery.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of
leg
what it is.
amputated.
And it's gone. Shout out LeVar Ball, also amputated.
That's what I thought of it.
Hmm?
But with Cutter Crawford overall, I think that's another sign of how quickly.
Is that the
those
dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
He got his foot amputated?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. Just TMZ tweeted it out, had a picture of him saying his leg.
He was hyped. He
His
looked
whole
like he
leg was
awesome.
gone?
From like the right knee down. Yeah. Big nub hours. You
Well,
know?
if your hair's gone, you got to try Hymns for Men. If you've lost your hair, it doesn't mean that you can't find it again. I guess like a leg. I don't know. I don't know. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who found their hair again. Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work from all the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow your hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Choose from personalized chewable, oral spray, and serum treatments to find what works, what's best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there's no uncomfortable doctor visits. Answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/section10. That's HIMS.com/section1010 for your personalized hair loss treatment options. Hims.com/section10. What else was there on the docket, T? We got Casas, we got Devers, we had Bregman on this show. We got Graveyard Talk and Adam Ottavino. Was there anything else that
That's
we
all.
needed to Coley?
We hit Vladdy Guerrero.
Coley?
I don't know if you guys have been watching the market like I have. That asteroid percentage keeps going up.
It's
We're
up
above
to
3.
2.6.
No, it's over 3.
It goes up every day.
It's
We're at
3.1.
3.1. Okay, so this is this, to my knowledge, once it got to 2.6, then they were like, this is the highest percentage we've been at since 2004. So 3.1. I mean, put it this way. If you told me that I had a 3.1% chance of having my name drawn to win $1 billion, I would be pretty giddy. So
Thrilled.
that means, the odds of this asteroid colliding with Earth, like it's kind of giddy hours, What is it, 2032 it's coming?
I can't even, if the percentage is jumping every day, I can't give them the benefit of the doubt that they know how far away this fucking thing is.
That's the
that's
thing.
true.
The longer this goes on, it's like this thing might actually be a couple years away. Honestly, I'm very excited tomorrow to hear about something that happens with graveyards. I don't know what it is, but I can promise you someone's going to tag us like, hey, graveyard sinks into the ocean or something. So something negative. If
The
you're in a
biggest graveyard
right now
ever
listening,
opening.
something bad's going to happen to you. I promise you that much.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the update today? 3.1?
Yeah, it's updating every day, and I don't care for that. If it's so not of a threat and so far away, why are we getting daily updates on this?
Well, I mean, the fact that it's theoretically, let's call it 7 years away, and it's already gone up like 2.5% since we found out about it like a week ago. What's it going to look like 6 years from now? Like they're gonna be like,
Hondo P.
yeah, like there's like a 78.4% chance this thing is hitting Earth, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like they've already determined that there's nothing they can do about it. Like it's already too close to have done something about it, right?
I can't imagine that's true.
That's what I heard, or at least read, that it's already close enough to where there's nothing they can do to divert it.
I don't need them throwing their hands up in the air like, well, we tried our best. It's way too early for
7
that.
years out, we got too much time left.
Way
Well,
too early.
If there's one president that will nuke it, like in Armageddon, is Trump. Like, didn't he try to nuke a hurricane?
He talks about that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, if push comes to shove, I feel like he's crazy enough to be like, all right, Elon, get up there and fucking push the button.
That thing's not leaving the atmosphere. That thing, where it's going to land right back where it launched.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say scary times, but I think the silver lining for me is if that thing gets up to, call it 65%, John Henry's going to be like, all right, fine, fuck it. 600.
Vladdy.
Like, yeah, $5 billion for Vladdy. Just
That's when the Dodgers this whole time, they're like, we never have to pay this. We're all set.
They got some inside info from some scientist in LA. Like, this thing's absolutely hitting, so just do all the deferred money. You got that.
You get Shohei for free because the world's gonna explode.
What is he?
Right,
so
it's
it's
gonna
what,
be
like $1 million or $2 million a year, something like that for Shohei?
2.
Like that he actually makes? Okay.
2.
That's crazy. So he ended up signing that they're only gonna have to pay him like $14 million for 7 years of Shohei Ohtani. That's a steal.
yeah. That's sick.
And it's like coming in like as the World Series. It's like Game 7 of the World Series. You can kind of see it in the distance. Let's wrap this thing up. Come on.
They're still playing.
We're trying to get this 7-peat right now. Let's hit the homer. Let's get this thing.
7-peat.
Isn't it crazy no one's gone back-to-back this
Since
century?
the Yankees.
And that technically wasn't even this century. I think the century started in 01, if I'm not
It was,
mistaken.
Correct.
yeah, it was 99 to 2000.
That's wild.
Well, it was 98, 99, 2000, but yeah.
3-peat by Bregman's least favorite team.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate him.
Hasn't talked to his mom in decades over it.
No.
That was a surprising fact. I didn't see that one coming.
Right.
Miss Bregman loves the Yanks.
Mm. Well, now she loves the Sox. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
right.
break.
Like the whole family too. It was the whole family that followed us. The 10. It was just like, okay, you got a sister, you got a cousin, you got a dog.
I immediately just started seeing all the Bregmans come through, and I'm like, how many are you? Breaking news. The construction of the bar in the media room begins very soon. We measured it out. So I have it so that it's gonna be like a platform to put our like mics on. Then it goes up 6 inches. Then it goes out 8 inches.
Same.
And so the 8 inches is for pizza. And then there's I believe 16 inches for laptops, microphones, etc. So yes, I've picked out the countertops. I picked out the design. There's going to be, I believe, 4 different outlets. So for us to use for all the equipment that we have for the podcast, I made sure that it's going to have an outlet on the front of the bar so that that's where I can finally put my Underdog neon sign, because like this,
you gotta put that on the roof.
Huh?
You gotta hang that from the roof like other people.
Yeah. It's definitely meant for ceilings and hanging down via chains and all that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end up putting it on the front of the bar for streaming content, podcast content. We'll have that right there. Very excited. I'm being told it'll be ready for opening day. Being told is ready for opening day. Don't want to make any promises, but that's what I'm being told.
You get that squirrel out of there?
No, I just got a text from Train who said, direct quote, sorry, the child is in bed finally, and I'm jumping in the shower, and I hear our friend. And I said, he's home. And she said, he's annoying. Every night.
Do we know it's a guy?
I guess
Well, if
it's
it's
not
pregnant.
right to presume the gender of the
Assuming
squirrel.
gender here.
Baby squirrels.
Yeah, but he's
They, them.
yeah, they're
When you
up
said
there.
You know it's a guy. I just pictured a guy in a squirrel costume. It's just
Yeah, just scratching the floors. Yeah, it's every night without fail for the entire night until we wake up in the morning. Like, I'm just used to it now. Yeah.
tough way to live.
Well,
Talk
I
like the
called
Mets
like
guy.
the exterminator. He came out 2 or 3 different times, and they can't get up on the roof because of the snow. So they're just like, all right, we'll be back. I'm like, well,
It's gonna be up there. Yeah.
you know that there's gonna be snow. Like when you come back, like it just snowed out again. But
Big snow.
big time
Do-
snow. They did
do
get
you
pictures
value-
though.
Do you value this thing's life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
No.
You want me to blow a hole in my ceiling?
I was gonna say next time you hear something in the wall, just fucking punch it as hard as you can.
It's
and
in
see
the
if you,
ceiling, brother.
Well,
Yeah,
T,
he's
if you're
compressed. He
punching
can't
the
reach.
Ceiling, what is the squirrel going to be like? Oh my god! And jump up from that? Like how is that?
I would
gonna
just
kill
strike it.
through
The
the
Yeah.
dead
ceiling?
accuracy.
I
don't know.
want to. Where the way that they do it is like they locate where it's getting in, and then they put this like one-way doggy door on it, so it can get out, but it can't get back in. See, so I'm not gonna kill it.
The second it gets out, just
I am gonna charge it rent. Like you owe me like $4,500, dude, for all that, but
It's been a while.
certainly has. Mm-hmm.
Well, rent and lost sleep. I mean, that has a value.
Ugh.
It's got to have a financial value.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. You know, like imagine, like at night and you're trying to put the moves on your girl, and then you just hear it's like it's fucking Freddy Krueger in the ceiling. Like, cause that's literally what it sounds. It's horrifying. It's
Gets you
horrifying.
rock hard.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to
it is.
to
Oh,
just
it's hard.
exist.
Literally.
Oh, it's hard. Yeah. So, but it is what it is.
Great, show.
Jake.
I mean, we're going to be dead in 2032 anyway, so you just got to ride it out for 7
Yeah.
more years.
It's true. I mean, you're not wrong.
Just quick 7.
Squirrels don't live that long.
No, I don't think they do.
I think they go like 3 years max.
No, I'm gonna wait this guy out then. I can't wait.
Horrendous news. 15 to 18 years.
Huh?
You have a kid. This is a fresh kid you just adopted.
I thought you meant the asteroid. I was pissed.
Oh, no.
All right. As long as the asteroid is still coming in 7. We'll take it. All right. Is that it?
I think so. That was a full one.
Tyler?
My final thought is
Didn't ask for it. Did not ask for it yet.
I
Did
thought
not
that's what
ask
you were
for it.
asking.
Didn't ask
Sorry.
for it. Nope. Just making sure we got all the Red Sox topics out of the way. Yeah. Coley, you seem like you were pondering.
Nah, I'm making sure we didn't miss anything, but I don't believe we did.
Okay. Final thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, big shout out to Dallas Braden. Slab Lab is coming up. Mike Emond has been crushing it, editing all the clips that they have coming up down the road here. Follow on the socials at Slab Lab Show and follow on YouTube. It is incredible content. Seen some behind the scenes stuff so far, and the names they got already are great. The names they got coming up are, some would argue, even greater.
Walter
Nearly
Johnson,
impossible.
I saw they got.
Yep, Warren Spahn. They got some great guys coming up
Christy
here. So
Mathewson.
definitely check that out. Subscribe and follow on the socials.
Did you see the? Was it? What was it? It was the documentary Fastball. It was. I think Kevin Costner would narrate it. Do you see that?
Didn't maybe at some point. When was this?
2015.
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, they had Walter Johnson. This is how they measured velocity back in the day. It was before miles per hour were used with human beings. So they had this, it was like 2 feet by 2 feet square with strings coming down. And he had to throw the baseball through the square to break the string and then crash into this like metal sheet. And then from when the string broke to when the sheet got hit, that's how they measured the velocity, and they would do it in feet per second. So they had Walter Johnson was the first pitcher to ever have his velocity measured, and they were like treating him like it was like he was a circus sideshow freak. And they were like, come on down to the yard where you can see Walter Johnson. He throws a baseball 122 feet per second. And it's like, oh my God. He throws a baseball 122 feet per second. Guess how many miles per hour that is?
105.
No, it's 60 feet from the mound. Although, how far was the mound then?
I don't think he threw off a mound. I think he just did it in like their like secret lab.
No, I know, but I'm trying to convert it to like him on the mound because that's what, like 2 feet per second. It was
83 miles per hour. It was 83 mile per hour fastball.
There you go.
Fastest pitcher in the world in 1912 or something like that. Yeah. That's why I won't hear it from all these. The old time baseball fans are like, oh, it's just different eras. Like, no, they weren't even playing the same game as they are right now.
Did he pitch still in an era where the batter got to say where the pitcher threw?
No, I think that was like the 1800s where you could pick the location. You could be like,
yeah,
I want it right here. I want it right here, you big pitcher. You big belly itcher, right here. And down and in, you fat fuck.
You had to have a little jingle to it. You had to have a rhyme, and they're like, "Oh, that was a good rhyme. I'm gonna throw that middle for this guy."
Yeah. Yep. Those were the days. Yep. Just 83 mile an hour dick balls. I mean, if he was the fastest pitcher alive, then it's like, all right, they were throwing 72. Like basically what I was throwing to Lou at McCoy in a fucking jacket in 12-degree weather is what they were seeing in Major League Baseball in the early 1900s.
That ball was also made out of tungsten too, so it weighed 45 pounds.
Yeah.
It's a Tim Wakefield fastball, right? Like essentially.
Wakey could get up near 90, no?
Oh, was he that high?
Oh, his fastball?
It was like 78 to 80, right?
Yeah.
You pull up the Savant.
Mid-80s, maybe? What's the highest?
No, that was Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright was mid-80s.
Yeah,
and that's why we were like, holy shit. Like, we didn't know you could do this.
Yeah.
That Wake was cooking. He put some sixes up there.
He was probably mid-sevens.
Yeah.
Yeah, 75. Looks like 75.
Yeah.
But that looked like 120 after he threw you
Oh,
45 consecutive knucklers.
Yeah. And he even had that little like get me over curveball too.
Yeah, he did. He did. When
would
he was like,
just-
this
he
shit's
would
not
just go,
working
"Whoop."
today.
Yeah.
Anytime you saw one of those in like the first or the second, I'm like, this is going to be an interesting start. Like he already
Yeah.
the thing is not doing what he wants it to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Wind's not blowing right today.
Yeah, this
So,
is not the right
he had to have been
swirling
like-
wind.
Fuck.
It is. If you're a knuckleballer and you know it's not dancing, you got to feel so useless out there. You're like
Yeah.
a BP pitcher at this point. But then you know it, but like the crowd doesn't know it. They're like, oh, we got Wakey. He throws the knuckleball. It's like they don't know that I can't throw it today. It's not gonna do-
Yeah.
Wakefield
not gonna
topped
do
out
it.
at 72 in 2010.
There you go.
Well,
that
for the
was-
heater?
That
Yeah.
wasn't 2010. That was the tail end.
Yep.
2011 was his last season.
Yeah. So what was prime Wakey throwing? Probably mid.
I don't remember any eights. I just don't remember any eights.
No, I definitely did mix his temp or his MPH up with Stephen Wright. There's no doubt.
Yeah. R.A. Dickey could throw like a pretty decent fastball.
He was like 92, couldn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he could throw a decent fastball up there.
What does Waldron hit? Does
I was
Waldron
about
hit
to
like
say.
95?
Waldron's like low 90s. There was another kid I saw who was throwing like an 87 mile per hour knuckleball
Oh, that
at a
kid's a
drive
freak.
line thing. It was like,
Yeah,
what
that
the
kid's a
fuck?
freak.
Yeah.
He got
You have to be
signed,
an-
right?
You have to be an asshole to
I
do
think
that.
so.
Yeah, that's just a dick move, honestly.
Yeah.
Waldron is sitting 90.7.
Okay.
His knuckleball is 90 or his fastball?
No,
would
no,
come
four
with
seamer.
that?
It's fastball.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
Fastball.
think that's physically possible.
No.
Knuckles at 78.
Got it.
Do you remember a Wake fastball getting rocked? Because I don't.
That
Mm,
article that had it was like why Tim Wakefield's 72 mile per hour fastball is one of the best pitches in baseball. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is this?
I don't know why. I think I remember like Maglio Ordonez just dog shitting all over a 72 mile an hour heater one time. And like it was almost like Wakey threw it and just continued to like walk towards home plate. He's like, I'm just gonna pick up the ball right here.
I typed up Tim Wakefield giving up homers. The first thing, Boston's Tim Wakefield gives up 6 home runs to the Tigers in 2004.
Yeah,
You probably nailed it.
yeah. He told the story. He came on the podcast and told the
Yeah.
story. He won that game. He won.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave up 5. Was it 6?
6 bombs. Yeah, I think so. T.
I'm
You
trying to
just read it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was just in front of your face, T.
Yeah, what are you
Yeah, they
doing,
won the
T?
game 11-9.
Yeah,
How many
Yeah.
home runs?
How many
6.
homers they
6.
won?
6.
6.
They won by 2. That's correct.
5 solo shots and 2 2-run homers in total. After, one was after Wakefield left.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get very angry.
The Barry one, the Bonds one is funny because it's not even like that bad. Let me see the
That was
replay here.
07.
It does knuckle a little bit. Barry doesn't even hit it well at all. He completely mishits it and it still goes into the bullpen. It's great.
Yeah. I think Barry got him in 07. And then I want to say when Manny came back for the first time with the Dodgers, he hit one off Wakey.
He'd been waiting.
Yeah.
Just been
Yeah, I
watching that
think-
pitch for years. How come no one's hitting this?
Yeah, it's so easy to hit.
What the hell?
You get all day up there. Just hit it.
Yeah, he's just talking to fans. Right? You guys seeing this? Like, this is the easiest pitch ever to hit.
Yeah. Those are the ones I remember.
Am I remembering correctly when El Duque threw? Did he throw the Ephus twice to A-Rod?
Yes. He hit one in Yankee Stadium. I think he did it once with the Mariners and once with the Rangers.
And one went very far.
Yes. Yeah. Because I remember when I was doing the Wake Up With blogs, I would just do like Wake Up With whatever baseball memory that I felt like that day. And I remember doing like Wake Up With A-Rod hitting a fucking moon bomb off El Duque's Ephus, dog shit Ephus pitch. He just waffled it.
The highest leg kick I've ever seen. He's like, you will not get me on this pitch again.
No. No.
Just watching a clip right now of Griffey striking out on a wake knuckleball and looking back out at him like 3 times just to be like, this isn't real baseball. I want you to know, like, you did strike me out, but if we were playing real ball here, I'm taking you deep.
Yeah. I'm so happy my Twitter notifications are back.
Hell yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Coley. Coley was like, you gotta just like delete the app and then reinstall it, and then it'll work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Coley's worked in social media a long time. I should have just asked him
Long
all
time.
along, but
Long time.
Decades.
what's up, T?
I'm just emotional hearing the story of one friend helping the other.
Mm-hmm.
It really
Thank
touches
God.
my
Thank
heart.
God for Coley.
Someone stepped
Mhm.
up.
You know?
Sounds like
That's what I
Cold
do.
Dog.
Yeah.
Why didn't you call him Breg Dog in the interview?
I know, T.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought about it, but I felt
Why
like we
didn't you?
were connecting in a nice way. I didn't want to ruin it.
I mean, you would have connected even more if you called him Breg Dog.
Connecting in a nice way. You're like, your walk percentage sucks. Like, what's up with that?
I kind of want to call him Breggy though. I feel like his name's cool enough on its own.
He's Breggy, right? That's the thing.
That's what they call him in Houston.
I like Breggy's good.
Yeah, they're Breggy bombs.
Yeah.
When he
Jared
hits a
is going to
home
be
run,
ready
it's
to should have walked him. That's got to be ready to go, I'm sure. Bang.
I had it right there. I was ready just now. Should have walked me. Know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Jake's takes?
Just hope this Breggy kid can hit in April, because if not, there's going to be trouble.
It's true. Well, I mean, I told him not to suck in April, so I think he's going to figure it out.
I was doing the math. It feels like the Astros typically didn't come to Boston for the first time each season in June anyways. I think that was the issue.
So he needed Fenway to not suck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you see, he
that's
needed
what
that
start-
to spark him. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Do you remember like an early May Astros and Boston series? I don't.
It was always the last week of June or
wasn't
something.
it? When was the game that I did the stream with Lou, and it was over in the first inning? Like Evaldi gave up 5 home runs.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? That had
I
to have
do,
been
yes.
May. I bet you that was a May Astros game. Look that up. 2022 T.
I'm on it. Here we go.
2022 Astros hit 5 bombs off Nathan Evaldi. I bet you that was a May game.
Was it at Fenway?
Yes.
August 1st, 2022.
Yeah, exactly. May.
May, August, same thing.
Are you sure it was in August?
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if there was
He's
another
staring
game
at it.
because the score doesn't make sense. It's 3-2.
You're
No.
a fucking idiot. That's not. They hit 5 home runs. 5.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was
You
going
Googled
to
Red
acknowledge
Sox
I was wrong.
Astros.
It's like right there is where I was confused because the score was not.
What do you-
Okay, May 17th.
Making me look like a fucking idiot for no reason. I was right. I was right. I was right. It was a May game. This guy's over here being like, oh no, look, it was actually August. No, it was May.
That was crazy, T.
Great. You just sabotaged me for no reason.
Slander.
Yes. Just fake news.
I think one thing has become very clear. I just will never be able to serve you in our friendship like Coley serves you.
Well, because Coley doesn't try to sabotage me like you do.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I tried my best and I came up short and I can admit that.
I don't know if that was your best.
No, that definitely wasn't your best. Hey, Tyler, can you look up the game where Nathan Evaldi gave up 5 home runs? Yeah, sure. It was the game that they lost 3-2 right here.
It was a crazy game, dude. It was crazy.
And said it very confidently. Yeah, I'm looking right at it. It says
Yeah, here it
3-2.
I mean, you have to know that was a bad job by you.
Inning and 2/3, he gave up 6 earned runs.
It's 9-1 in the second.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I remember.
that game.
I remember
Yeah,
how long that stream was.
Yeah, me and Lou were all excited to live stream a game together. And it was over in the first inning. And we were just like, I guess we just tell stories and answer some questions in the chat. Like we're obviously not talking about this game. I don't think we said another word about the game the rest of the night.
Sox
We
actually
just-
had a lead. They were up 1-0. In
Big
the
time.
top two, Astros scored 9. See, that's a problem. You don't want to give up 9 runs in a minute.
No.
Not great.
It's never been the ideal move.
If you're just looking at the box where you see a 9, it's just something went wrong. Something
Mhm.
definitely went really wrong. It is
Yeah.
odd seeing Evaldi and 9 runs next to each other.
Yeah.
I don't remember that ever happening again.
Yeah, good player. Good player.
Good pitcher. Yeah, good guy.
All right, my final thoughts. I would say, like, we apologize that there's not going to be a second episode this week, but like, I'm not sorry. Like, you guys got
The show's
the
huge.
Bregman interview and you guys got the Sox Talk pod just all at the same time. It was a timeliness thing. You got the same, like, how long you say this podcast is going to be, Jake? Probably like 3 hours.
It's over.
At least 3, probably like 320.
Yeah, so you guys are getting the same amount of content. We're just giving it to you up front. We're not breaking it up because we wanted you to have it immediately.
Yeah, you break it up.
Yeah,
Portion
you
control.
break it up. You listen to
Stop
the
halfway
other.
through.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything in hour 3 that we're telling you this, but like, we're still giving you the same amount of content.
Yeah, go back, forget what you just heard, and then
Yeah,
start
break it
over
up.
again.
yeah, yeah. So you know what? I'm not sorry. I take it back. I'm not.
You let it off by saying you weren't sorry.
Yeah, I'm still not sorry.
Hmm.
I didn't change my mind on that. I'm not sorry. You still got a great show for the week. T,
Not trying to be mean.
I didn't
to the
ask
Red
for
Sox.
final thought. I was gonna
Okay.
say, T, good job today.
This feels like you feel bad based on what happened roughly 5 minutes ago.
What happened 5 minutes ago?
I'm not going to bring it up because we moved past it, and I did a good job
Oh,
today,
I don't
and that's all that
feel
matters.
bad. I don't feel bad. I think you did a bad job then, but it's a long show. That's like 3+ hours. You know what? I will say this. The year of T has spilled out to the outside world. I mean, I see Nesson tweeting at you all the time being like, year of T. Does that make you feel good?
It does. It is interesting because I felt like there was never any Nesson interaction when we were doing the altcast, but now they're on board, so I'm messing with it. I love it. Please keep reaching out.
People keep asking if we're going to be doing the all cast this year. I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't know what Nesson's plans are. I think I'm going to talk to them by the end of the week and hopefully get more information on what their plans are. I don't know what their plans are. If they want me to do it, I'll do it. Huh?
They got a watchable team this year. They're all set.
Yeah, they could be.
Yeah, they don't need us anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to do it, I'm down. But time
We'll be
in my
streaming.
schedule's filling up quick for the 2025 campaign.
We'll be streaming regardless.
Oh yeah, yes. Like we'll be doing streams here. That's why we're building the bar. Maybe we'll be doing some alt casts for Nesson. Don't know. I don't have that information right now. But yeah, I'll let you know when I know because I don't know. I don't have that information. Don't have it.
But we will be there in Florida for the Bregman versus Yankee brawl. I'm excited for that.
Oh, he's gonna beat the shit out of some people in that brawl.
I can't believe he said specifically that too. He was like the
Yeah.
first guy. I'm just gonna punch him in his face.
Yeah. Yeah, the word he used was assault. I think he said, I'm going to
No, I
assault
know.
the
I'm actually
motherfucker. Yeah,
toning it down a little bit. Yeah.
right.
He said, my first call, Dustin Pedroia. My second call, Alcantara.
Yeah.
That's who I needed.
Yeah.
I needed to understand how he kicked. That was Austin Wells. Get ready to taste dirt, bucko.
Yeah. Third call, my lawyer to see what I could get away with in this thing. Like, if I fucking bite someone's neck, like, is that going to be a problem? Or is that just the boys being boys between the lines?
Have we ever had a spring training scuffle? Do you remember
Yes.
anything?
Joey
the Sox?
Gathright and Julian Tavares.
Yeah.
Julian Tavares closed fist slapped Joey Gathright in the fucking head in a spring training game. Rays Red Sox. There's no video of it, but there is
Images, yeah.
images of Tavares closed fist slapping Joey Gathright in the head at home plate.
Dude, the follow through image is hilarious because he just
So
he just
funny.
bang right to the dome. That
Yeah.
is
What year was
incredible.
that? 2008?
I want to say
Let's
8.
see. I'm on Dirt
8 or
Dogs
9.
right now. It says 06.
Oh, 06.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really set the tone for that third place finish.
The Fighting Franconas are at it again. Tavares throws, lands one. That's what it says is the headline. I mean, he lands
Headlines are
this
so
punch. We
funny.
got to post this photo. This photo's hilarious.
Just
Gathright is
Photoshop
just-
Bregman onto it.
It's just saying, like,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
soon. Sox Yankees.
Yeah. But yeah,
If
there's
he just
no
goes
video
out
of
there
that
and just
incident.
punches a Yankees pitcher in the face for not even doing anything, by the way. Like, he just throws a pitch
Yeah,
like a little
they,
bit outside.
They weren't broadcasting the game, and this was pre-social media. So there's just no video of that taking place.
Wow.
Yeah. Great picks, though.
Kind of
Great
stunned
picks.
the picks are this good with no video. Typically, that's
I'm
not
seeing
how it
these for the
goes.
first time.
Yeah,
T
you
hasn't
probably
seen them yet.
you
T's gonna
probably
be like,
weren't
"Who
even
could
born
forget?"
yet.
Wild
This is
moment.
incredible.
How old were you in 2006, T?
8.
Yeah, you were just a stupid kid.
Dumb as fuck.
Hey, tomorrow morning, he's going to be like, fire myself up with who can forget Julian Tavares punching Joey
Yeah.
Gathright.
100%.
It'll
Yeah.
bang,
Gonna
though.
be
It's going to get
Yeah.
1,000
spaced
likes.
out. and
You
it's
guys
gonna
ever just
crush.
randomly think about that Julian Tavares, Joey Gathright fight? Oh, so
Fire.
Julian
fire.
Tavares
This is my
giving
life.
me life. Yeah,
Yeah.
giving me
This
life.
is
Yeah.
my life.
I do not tweet like that.
Yes, you do.
I do not
This is
tweet
so
like
now going to be my phone background.
I think about this at least 25 times a day. The
I do.
Joey Gathright, Julian Tavares brawl in 2006 spring training.
You know what it is? He treats the Red Sox like teenage to 35-year-old girls talk about Taylor Swift. Like if you
Yeah.
just subbed out
Or
the
like
Red
K-pop.
Sox stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stan Twitter meets sports.
Nah,
Kind of what it is.
no.
My final thought is I didn't know Adolis Garcia's head looked like that.
There's just no way.
This
This is
tweet,
shot.
who could forget?
Who could forget?
I mean, how about nailing the who he punched in the fucking head too?
That was good.
Yeah, that's the Berg dialing it up right there. T.
Not to be mean, I'm not trying to pick on anyone, but whoever is doing the little media sessions for the Red Sox and their live streams, we got to figure out a better audio situation for the reporters asking questions because I can't hear shit when I'm driving in my car. I want to hear what the reporters are asking before Alex Corey answers it.
Did you
'Cause I
get this
spend
take from Maz?
No, I did not.
Oh, he called me the other day screaming about it.
Did he really? That's hilarious.
Yeah, and I agreed. I was
it's,
like,
it's awful.
I watched, what was it? What's today? Wednesday? So either Sunday, it might have been Sunday or Monday night. I watched the Aaron Judge press conference. They've got it sounds like they've mic'd up their esophagus. Like you can hear the reporters just as crystal clear as you can hear the Yankee players. And then at like Red Sox spring training, it's like, so Aaron, Alex, got a question for you. Tristan Casas made some comments the other day. Was just kind of wondering like what you felt about Tristan. Oh yeah, so Tristan, he said it's like how are you supposed to watch that? Like I have to jam my phone inside my eardrum to hear what the question is, and then the response is crystal clear.
I don't run the heat in my car so I can listen to these press conferences when I'm on the road.
He's
It's
just
infuriating.
freezing training.
I'm
for these
cold as
questions.
fuck. I just want to hear what they
I
have to
gotta
say.
hear what Cotillo's got to say. So we're freezing our asses off. Sorry.
Figure it out, man. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
The only person who ever comes through clearly is Sean McAdam, and it's because he's sitting next to Cora.
Right. He's always right there.
next to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of
Lou's
this,
been
though,
on
is
a
just
heater,
spring training. Part of this is just it's spring training and this shit happens.
I guess, but when you're on like this side of the fence and you actually have to react to like things that are being said
it
down
sucks.
there, and
It sucks.
fodder for your job, like your podcast, I got to know what they're saying.
By the way, couple voices I don't recognize. I'm like, we've been doing this for a while and hearing
Couple
people
female
ask horror
voices
questions.
I don't
that
recognize.
I've never heard before that are kind of asking the
Good questions.
It's a tough question. The good tough questions. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah. Like I think we know like the Jen McCaffreys of the world, but there's some other female voices I don't recognize. Anytime there's like a question that's in a male voice that I'm like, what the fuck was that question? It's always Duke Castiglione, who I like. I like Duke. I like Duke, but he'd be asking some wild shit sometimes.
I do love the video of Bregman there. It's like, how you like a Boston? Just thumbs up. Just boom. It's great, dude.
Boom.
It's what do you want me to say? I'm in a golf cart going up. I got a bunch of thoughts. Here we go. It's like thumbs up. I like
Haven't been yet.
Yeah. I
No
don't
answer.
live there yet. But all right. Is that it? Anyone else have anything else? Okay. The next time you see us, we'll be down in Fort Myers without T, who said, we asked him if he wanted to go. He's like, fuck that, dude. I'm not going. T?
You guys are going to record the pod down there next week?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're going to fly back and then go back
I don't.
to
Well, you guys
Florida?
are coming back Wednesday, so I didn't know.
I'm not. I'm going
yeah,
until
you're going to
like
Arizona.
March
Do you want to
4th.
give out our flight itinerary?
Nope. Actually, I should not have even said the time you guys were flying.
Wait,
out.
Coley, are you flying with us? Are you flying out of Boston?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
It's gonna be fun. Can't wait.
Are you going to sit next to me on the plane?
No, they put you they have you sitting in the pilot's lap. They put me in the cargo.
Sometimes I know I got the flight pass. I fly the plane.
That's right. I do remember that. Yeah, Jerry's flying us down there. I appreciate you. You didn't have to do it, and you did it for us. So that is a very nice move.
I honestly do it just like to stay awake. Like I don't like sleeping on planes. So if I'm flying the motherfucker, then I'm just cruising, you know?
What's been the biggest issue you've run into when you've been a pilot before?
Usually it's just like the nagging
Birds.
of the flight attendants. They're always like, "Do you want coffee? Do you want Mike and Ike's?"
They're offering you the
Oh,
snacks?
The oxygen is falling out of the ceiling back there. Are you going too fast up here? And it's like, shut up.
Going too fast.
Shut
You
up.
pushing down the pedal too
You
hard.
gotta get
Yeah.
pulled over. Yeah.
It's so annoying. Like, that's why it's like, man, I really wish the cockpit was just the cocks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, the fellas.
yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
But
But
sign Cox only in here. Come on.
yeah. Yeah. But it is what it is. So I'll get us there. No
doubt.
All right. Wheels up on Saturday. Section 10 coming at you next week at some point. And very excited for the content that we're going to be making down in Fort Myers with the Boston Red Sox. Wow. Can't wait. First time Section 10 does spring training. And T just flat out did not want to be there. So it'll just be the rest of the fellas taking care of it. Coley?
Should we suspend them for not coming? I feel like we should.
I don't know. Look at him.
I think we
It's okay.
should
Do what you have
suspend
to do.
him. Like, there's still a chance that he could find his way down there. I think if we
Sure,
get down there and we record the pod and he's still not there, then yes.
Yeah, he's gone.
And
Yeah,
if
right
you
now
guys
it
are
would be like
recording,
preemptively.
if you guys are recording down there, essentially I'm suspended for the entire podcast.
Yeah.
No, we can still have you on, obviously. We have the technology.
We won't, but we could.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. We'll see. But all right. We'll see you from Fort Myers. But no.
Buenas noches, amigos.